What it do, what does it do? Welcome to the Bears Den, your premier poetry podcast, the place where we pick the brains of some of the dopest performance poets in the game. I am your ever humble host, that most eloquent earth sign. Oh, beware, it is that boy Bear. And we're coming straight out the wood with something guaranteed to be good. So grab your pen and your pad and let's head into the lab here on the Bears Den.
Mother Eve is
Giants
no longer
often become territorial and pride those who run.
It's simply the launch pad my spaceship.
1 for 4, 2 for 10, 3 for 20.
1
for 4, 2 for 10, 3 for 20. 1 for 4, 2 for 10, 3 for 20. This is not a random assortment of numbers. This is a travesty.
Wonder why my mind
was not my first time leaving a
tears of my heart.
Hey, Cordney, those no chose the I've had to capture this shit.
What is good, family? Is your boy Bear, your favorite poet's favorite poet. We are back in the lab with another installment of the Bears Den. And today, finally, I got my boy, my ace boo, my partner, playboy, man, the ever illustrious, sharper than a thumbtack. How does he do it? Cordney Woods McClain. What does it do, my guy?
Oh, man, I appreciate it. Bear putting a lot on it because he's fresh today. As well. So it looks like we got the same suit on, man. The color is very, very close if it's not
like
the
same.
same.
But the great minds think
yes, sir.
alike. But I want to clarify something just for those that may not know. Not first today. Bear does this. Bear does this. Check my pedigree. Check the Insta. But no, man, much love, man. Y'all see how this is going to go. Y'all can already see how this episode is going to run. But that's beautiful, man. It's fam, man. That's how we do. You know what I'm saying? When you with your peoples, man.
Yeah, it's easy flowing.
Hey, man. You know what I'm saying?
And we're going to have a real conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because it's always real in the bill, baby. Somebody said that. I just took that. Okay, anyway. So, for those that may not know, man, I'm trying to read this man's credentials, and I've seen rap sheets that are shorter.
That's why I said, you can skip around. You can skip around.
There'll be a lot of big words in here, sir.
Hey, don't try to play me with that.
Hey.
You give the big words in simple text.
It's a lot of text here, sir. So just for a couple things, let's see. Okay. Where are you from?
Dale City, man.
You
are born and raised. Yes, sir. Mom raised me in Dale City, South Side all day. Went to church on the East Side, right off 23rd, and most of my family's from Muskogee and North Tulsa.
Word. So you are a real deal. Okay, we will not hold that against you. We will not let it to your charge.
Yeah, it's funny though, because when I go out of state, they be like, "What? You from Oklahoma?" Like I guess I'm too fresh to be Oklahoma, but hey man, we got style. We just,
I mean, yeah, you know what I'm saying. It's a little swaggy, Yeah. I mean, it's because Oklahoma is Dallas's baby brother, but
here we go.
That's why you came just like me today. But we do what we can, man, to set the bar, set the standard.
But you're living in Oklahoma.
Touche. Yeah. Touche. So. From Dale City, Oklahoma. All right, so let's just run this, man. Bro, this is crazy. Director of Diversity and Inclusion within the Price College of Business at the University of Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
My guys, is titled as this suit is official, and that is saying a lot of stuff. Got undergrad and master's degrees in business, multiple certifications. Financial literacy, which is important for our people, man, because we know how to touch and move our money.
Yes, sir.
That is seriously
yes, sir.
important.
That's the revolution we need.
Hey, man,
that's the revolution.
One of the necessary pillars, man, of any society's progression and advancement is economic independence and financial freedom, man.
I was just explaining that to a younger brother the other day. I said, they white folks honestly didn't see Martin Luther King as a threat until he started talking Black financial independence.
Hey,
that's when they start seeing him as a threat.
And for real. I always say, man, freedom is an ownership. So own your.
Yes, sir.
When you get off of somebody else's grid, man, when you make and move your own money, that changed the game.
Yep.
Now, as a sidebar, I'm a firm believer. This is purely a side note. A lot of Martin's efficacy was because there was a Malcolm. Because people saw the alternative. He said, you can play the nice way, or we can play the other way. And folks give him a choice.
So yes, come on in, Dr. Martin, and let's have this conversation in the White House, because I don't want to have to deal with Malcolm outside.
For real, because he's standing outside on the corner just waiting. So, and that's the beautiful dichotomy of how many things work, and the beautiful dichotomy of these people and the art of everything. Man, you gotta know when to play what card.
Right.
You gotta know play what card.
Right.
And you gotta be able to play both cards, because in order to move forward and progress, there are going to be challenges and obstacles. There are going to be.
It's the sweet art of tact. We have to understand tact.
Yeah.
I talk about it when I speak to any student of color about, any student marginalized about tact when it comes to corporate America. Yeah, it's cool. Which shout out to Langston. I wish I would have went to a HBCU. I'm salty every year when it comes around and Langston homecoming, and it seems like everybody I'm cool with graduated from Langston, and everybody's super crunk about going to Langston homecoming, and I'm salty because I wasn't a part of that culture. But at the same time, I believe that when a student goes to a HBCU and they've only went to a HBCU, it sets you up to be more in a sensitive space the first time you feel a white person's microaggressions or their subconscious biases start affecting you. I'd rather you deal with that in college, and you're less likely to deal with that at HBCU. You're more likely to deal with that at PWI.
True. It is an insulated environment.
Yeah. So I feel like going to OU put me in that space, definitely, because I had some run-ins when I was at OU that I believe prepared me for corporate America.
You know, it's interesting. We're gonna pause on the bio for a second, because we can
come back and forth.
I got 4 more pages on the bio to read, so we can touch that for for the next hour or so. But I was talking to Brother Justin Brothers, Fantastic Bros.
Shout out to Fantastic Bros, man. Awesome poet, awesome brother.
He was talking about one thing about how he came up through the Oklahoma poetry circuit, and he started performing with Red Dirt. Which, shout out to Red Dirt.
Yeah, shout out to Red Dirt.
Was there. Much love and accolades to them. But it's a different. What's the right word?
See, right now you're using tact.
But I am 6'2", 300 pounds, black with dreads that go all the way down my back. Tact is a necessary genetic birthright.
Yep.
Okay, so it is a different. Okay, there are more white poets there. Okay.
Yep.
And one thing that we were discussing, and we noticed there is a difference stylistically.
Yep.
Martin. And so he was saying that he found himself having to make a decision a lot of times. Depending on what, if I'm going to Red Dirt, I'm going to Ice, am I spitting a black poem or a white poem?
Ah, yes.
What am I doing? To fit this environment. So finally, he just decided, I'm going to spit.
I'm just do me.
It is what it is. But what you bring up is very interesting in relation to art. One of the benefits of going to a PWI or other, because I started my collegiate career at the University of Texas at Dallas. Go Comets, swoosh. And shout out to my man Gino, the geometric Nubian orator that launched the underground poetry circus out there.
Oh, fire.
Team captain, participant in the Dallas Slam team for many years. Winning, shout out to my guy, who is a director out there for next like that, But yeah, so I understand, being in an other environment. It's more like ants in a sugar bowl out there, Now I was mostly interested in mostly foreign students, because it's a really big engineering school.
Okay.
Really, really big. But still,
and that baggage is totally different.
True.
That baggage is totally different. Even when I speak about our Nigerian brothers and sisters, when they come to a PWI, that baggage is different. They show up. Matter of fact, I was just talking to a Nigerian student, and they say, America gets sold to them as just a place of opportunity and such. They don't come over here thinking about racism at all. So they can navigate these white spaces without boulders on their shoulders and feeling that type of already, I got a chip on my shoulder already.
Yeah.
But with Black Americans, we come into those PWI spaces with a chip on our shoulder because we have this American baggage already so heavy. Yeah. And they can navigate those spaces much easier than ours. Yeah. But white people look at it like, oh, we got international students, so we're diverse. we're doing what we're supposed to do.
Well, yeah, I mean, when the standard, the baseline, the starting point for your perception looks like you, and everything built around you, caters to, operates under the auspices of, or facilitates your view of how things are supposed to be. Yep. Well, then, of course, it works because it's not disrupting your paradigm. Yep. So I was gonna say to that, with the PWI thing or any other thing, non-HBCU experience, right? What we would learn in those places is code switching. Yeah. We learn the place and spaces where we get to be Black, and we learn where we get to be. Now, I'm gonna say this, and there's a big discussion about this right now, but I'm gonna use it in its pejorative sense. No, I'm gonna use it in its clinical sense.
Why you prefacing it?
Because it had the connotations of what it means. Our professional side, Black or professional. Some people, and I just saw this recently. Somebody said that the term professionalism, the concept of professionalism, is itself inherently racist and sexist and something. And
I've heard that.
I now, one thing I say is, some things sound good when nobody sitting next to you tells like, don't type that. Yeah. But there is some weight to that.
Yeah, it's definitely some weight to it, but this is my deal as well. You don't show up on a football field with a basketball jersey on. So if you're going into corporate America, then you understand your surroundings. So you're gonna play the game. It's chess, not checkers.
And not everything. I want to talk about that too. That whole metaphor thing. Not everything is a system to be dismantled. We are in an age now.
This is true.
We want to tear down the walls to every city. We want to destroy the encampments and unentrenches, etc. Unfortunately, we lack the discernment to say, okay, I'm tearing down my own walls now. It's like the one episode on The Simpsons, a Halloween special. It's like they burned down the house. Which lives here? They're like, wait, that's our house. Oh. We're caught up in that frenzy, with the social media mob mentality, where everybody jumps on a bandwagon, but nobody knows where the wagon is going. And unfortunately, the driver is dead and the horses are heading to a cliff.
Bars. Bars.
Every now and then. So it's interesting that we broached that because code switching in poetry. As I was telling him, went to a slam a couple years ago. I want to shout out the folk that did it, but I don't know if I should because of the nature of the story that follows. I want to give love, but I don't want to, inadvertently throw like a shade or whatever. Anyway,
it sounds like it's coming.
It was poorly organized. Okay. And it was under the expectation that somebody else was going to handle the side of actually getting audience for a larger event that it was a part of. Okay. Which fell through spectacularly. Okay. Spectacularly. So it was extremely poorly attended. There was a lot of chaos and confusion, question about how things are going to go together. Okay. There's a lot of shuffling and rerouting, like after they were supposed to start. So we started late, of course. Yeah. And then after we started late, we're still trying to reconstruct things. Well, it was a slam, and that slam, of course, you have judges, and in most cases, your judges are picked from your audience. Right, they are random people who judge based on their reactions to the poetry that you perform. Right. Now, ideally, number one, they should be random people. Yeah. Now, all your homeboys or people that homeboy with somebody who's competing. Yeah. Because that does have a bearing on it. Yeah. But they all should be conversing with poetry, understand. Yeah. And then the different types of poetry. Yeah. Because something that you read, for instance, my book Scribble Visions is meant to be read. Mm-hmm. It's not for performance. It's not spoken word. Some of them can be. Yeah. A few of them have been, but primarily my whole vision for that is you sit down, hopefully with a cup of coffee and some free time, a little Miles Davis in the background, you know what I'm saying?
A little vibe, a whole vibe.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and you ingest. You know what I'm saying? You imbibe and you ingest. Yeah. Conversely, Keep Calm and Feed the Bear. Stage Poetry from an Angry Earth Sign is, as its name says, it's all stage work.
Yeah.
And it's not just spoken word stuff, it's like more slam pieces, which is a different kind of vibe in that genre, so and so. So people didn't understand that what I'm hearing, I know the different types of poetry, so I can judge them on the merit of this person's high energy because that's that type of poem.
Yeah.
This may seem lower energy, more introspective. So I understand that vein.
So, so not to cut you off, but the issue I find with that is that in Oklahoma City, to me, it would be hard to pick 5 judges out of our audience that have all of those qualities. Because honestly, to me, a lot of our poetry spaces are people that, if they do right, and I'm using quotation marks, if they do right, they don't read. So their whole cognitive approach to learning, to being able to ingest anything and then eloquently articulate it, it's very novice anyway. So
there's a lack of sophistication in those that are receiving what's being given.
Yes. So you pick 5 people out of the audience, and I ain't saying they stupid or dumb.
Of course not.
But when you talk about what type of level of poetry they're used to, or if they even study poetry, or if they are even involved or seeing any poetry outside of Oklahoma City, if they're ingesting any of that at all, they're probably not. And all the poetry they're really getting is probably at Dope Poetry. Shout out to Ice and Jay Wig and Proverb. They're probably only getting that. So if they're only getting that, they're really not good judges because they don't have all the qualities that you're talking about.
And something that was said in a previous discussion. I don't know what order these are going to fall in, so y'all don't hold me to that. Y'all might hear that discussion later. We'll figure it out when we get there. But anyway, the discussion I had with one of these premier performance poets that I rocks with is that we really, our audiences got to step up.
Yeah.
We need to feed our audiences better, more consistent diets because, to borrow a biblical example and reference, a lot of people are still on milk, and you can't feed. Some of us trying to feed people steak, and they ain't got teeth for that.
Yes, sir.
But unfortunately, there are some spaces where, Lord, see, we have diverged so far where I was trying to go, but. As also said, you remember the episode of The Cosby Show where it was one of the early years and Cliff was doing the song, Daddy is great. He gave us chocolate cake.
I think I remember that, yeah. Okay. I've been running through the 8 seasons here lately. I'm on my wife's nerves. I've been on that in different world, like super heavy.
My daughter, who is 14, started watching Cosby at 12.
Yeah,
I put her on, and she's watched the whole series like 3 times so far.
Yeah, my baby right now, well, my oldest, she's 5 and she loves The Different World. She has the whole theme song memorized.
Shout out to Dr. William H. Cosby for planting a seed for Black excellence.
That's why I wanted to go to college.
But we talked about that, bro.
I wanted to be Dwayne Wayne with the flip-up glasses.
And my brother had them bad boys, man. Like
I had the flip-up glasses as a kid.
He set a standard for. We always talk about representation and presentation.
Yeah.
And that man took it upon himself. And we were talking about in the discussion about how you can channel and utilize your success in one area, one platform to build a platform to do something other with.
Yeah.
So who started as a stand-up comedian, who started in that realm, was extremely successful in that realm.
Yeah, for a long time.
For a very long time.
Before the Cosby Show even came.
20, 30 years before Cosby.
Yep.
When he was in his 20s and 30s, he was doing stand-up, you know. And then to movies, to TV shows like I Spy, to doing movies with Sidney Poitier, all these things.
My shit,
who came to, and shout out to supporting, okay, I got to do this for a quick moment here. People talk about what's the Black celebrities doing. If you haven't seen X by Spike Lee, get your life right. If you haven't seen Spike movies, period, get your life right, because that is our griot.
Yep.
That is our cinema griot. when it came time to X and the studios was playing him for funds, he went to some black celebrities, Michael Jordan, Oprah Winfrey, Bill Cosby, and a few others.
Yeah.
They put up like $10 million to get that movie made. See, when you have you can do work for the culture that everybody ain't got to know about, and you ain't got to be in the front waving a flag when you doing it.
Yeah.
So shout out to him being a comedian to movies to say, when I have the access, I'm going to show people what they haven't seen. Because we've been maids on TV. We've been butlers, we've been chauffeurs, we've been the single mama in the projects. We was moving on up from the east side, which was what it was. We were in the projects with good times, and then this man said, I'm going to show an educated black family. In a sense, they were the Obamas before we had Obamas.
Yeah.
A doctor and a lawyer, successful with intelligent, respectful, successful children,
and buying and making importance on art and putting art in the home. That's so far.
Started my love for jazz music night in Tunisia in that auction episode.
Yep.
Then just shout out to that black excellence and those who have paved the way, the roads down which we walk.
And it never felt whitewashed.
Never.
It never felt whitewashed.
And it wasn't stereotypical.
Yeah.
They weren't trying to prove I'm black.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we talk about too. We don't have to always, and the code switching in performance and stuff. I don't have to get on stage with my dashiki on, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm black, y'all. I'm black, y'all. I'm blackity, black, y'all.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I do because I want to, because I can. But it's not necessary that we have to either we professionalize, and I use my, I'm heading to my meeting for this contract negotiation for this, this next term that we are working here to fund these further endeavors. I don't have to do that because we are a multifaceted, complex people that reflects in our art. So back to all this, this shaded. I tell y'all, this is gonna be one of the combos.
Because I was gonna ask. Okay, get back on track. So Justin, Fantastic Bros, does he just say, "Look, I'm just gonna be me and just do me"? See, the first time I ever even heard Fantastic Bros, man, I was literally in ice and he's spitting. I'm looking around like, is nobody hearing this excellence? like nobody was getting his poem, and that was heartbreaking to me because I'm like, he probably does spit that in red dirt, and it probably goes very hard.
Yeah,
and then you don't want to shit on your own people and be like, well, I need y'all cognitively to be more awake, to be more alert, and you don't want to talk bad about your own people, but at the same token, if I'm getting this, if I understand what he's saying and understanding the brilliance of this, why everybody else in ICE is not with me in the moment.
In people's defense, I will give you this. In people's defense, okay. If you grew up in the South eating good fried catfish,
good fried
catfish,
yeah,
some of the good stuff. Sushi might not be your thing.
True.
It don't mean you don't know good cooking. It's just not. It's not part of your palate.
Yep.
And so I think now, for myself personally, I've done this, but I shout out to James Cooper for summing it up so concisely. You spit for the room. One thing is what I endeavor to do myself is give you some seriously complex concepts in a form that's familiar.
Gotcha.
So it's the balance of
which being able to do that very well is brilliant in itself. It's very brilliant in itself because you want to be able to successfully give them the medicine and the candy.
Is the Mary Poppins mantra: a spoonful of sugar, that's the medicine go down. And that's one of those. But see, and that's something we talked about too. The craft. When you love the craft, when it's about the craft, that does something. For him, for myself, for you, I know because we've had these conversations. The craft comes first.
Yeah.
Because we are firm believers. If you can't spit, sit.
Yes. And that's where I want to see dope poetry. I want it to be, because if you go to other places that's known for poetry, you go to other cities, like a scrub is not gonna dare to go and get on that stage. They are like, no, hell no, because I know either I'm gonna get booed, I'm gonna get heckled, I'm gonna get kicked the fuck off the stage. They might throw tomatoes at my ass. I don't know where they're gonna get the tomatoes, but it's gonna come.
Very least you leave their city. Like I shout out to Dallas Poetry, bro, while I cut my teeth with some of the paragons of the game, Joaquin Z, Jason Carney, Rock Baby, Gino. I mean, I came up under, not with,
right,
under some killers.
Yeah.
Shout out to my boy Ben Diesel Rosario, my ace Bone from UTD. I said I borrowed one of his lines from my poems. I don't bust gats, I bust pin caps. And I told him, I was like, well, he was like, the whole poem was like, do work, bro. I was like, I appreciate that. But I so appreciate that. Came in the freestyle cypher on a bus one day. He spit that. Anyway, but I started truly performing around those folk.
Right.
Friday nights in Deep Ellum at the Art Bar, spitting right. I cut my teeth in slams, not open mics, and competing. And I hung. I didn't always, maybe once or twice. Once, I give myself twice. I actually won. But mostly, I was, second, third-ish. 30s, I'm saying. But I placed. Against guys who, Joaquin Z, the cat went on win the global slam. Like, he was the world slam champion. So I'm standing on stage with this guy. And when them cats look at you, go, that was a nice poem. You know that's real. You know what I mean? But when you're in a space like that and you're just listening, like open mic was first, then a slam. You listen, you say to yourself, either I'm coming hard or I'm gonna sit here and just appreciate it.
I'm gonna just sit here and appreciate it. And my issue is, we'll have people that just wrote some bullshit in their car and be like, hey, I just wrote this in the back or whatever. I'm gonna get up here and read it off my phone. And stumble through it while they read it.
Or it's the folk that I actually wrote this a long time ago and reading it and still can't read it right. Okay, see you, man. You throwing hooks, and I'm trying not to.
Man, because I don't need to go light. I don't need to go light because I feel like I've been doing work. People been seeing me do work, and I'll say what I want to say. And as in a whole, Oklahoma City poetry, we have beasts, and I'd like to see the beasts do more work, and the people who aren't beasts yet, we need to continue to write and continue to get better and evolve, because it's out here to get. And I don't want nobody from no other city to hear, oh, they from Oklahoma City? Oh shit, that ain't nothing. I know I want us to be threats. If we're in a slam, if we're just coming to an open mic, I want people to be like, damn, they from Oklahoma City? Yeah, I know they got some spitters out there, because we deserve that. Shit, we are people often forget that we were a breeding ground for greats in the Harlem Renaissance. Like around that era, like Oklahoma City was doing that shit, and we still have a great artists here, and it needs to be respected. So when it comes to dope poetry, and that whole scene, that whole deal they've been doing for almost 5 years, come November, it needs to be respected. And I don't, and I say I don't even get to get up in there too often because I'm girl dad all day, but I would like it to be feared. Like you need to have an appreciation for dope poetry stage where you don't just write some bullshit in the parking lot and get up in there and stumble over your words while you're reading it. I need you to appreciate that stage and what Jay Wig and Proverb has put together.
I will say this, because I've had this conversation with several people. Prefacing it by saying, saying,
Bear will preface some shit and then troll the hell out of you.
They don't know me yet. Okay, prefacing with, don't like people. Okay. With this, okay?
Yeah.
I'm very particular on certain things, and I'm not, I play nice on TV. But
when do you play nice? You in Facebook jail right now?
Like I was saying, hey, don't poke the bear. The bear gets angry.
Yeah, right on.
Don't run out to the woods. I love mystical. If you see fight the grizzly, help the bear. No sir. No sir. No sir. You better pray and run.
I was thinking about that the other day. I said, man, I wanted to say don't poke the bear, and I said I don't want to steal bears. I don't want to take the whole analogy that can reference you. I'm gonna come up with my own, but it's gonna be similar to don't poke the bear. I'm gonna come up with something. Because I like that, because I think I do play the nice role so often that
tact, code switching,
and because I'm in those spaces so much, it bleeds over into my other areas, and I got a wife and 2 girls, so all of that shit compiled has made me soft over the years.
Somebody said once, and I respect it because it's so freaking true, man. Like, a lot of the other part of his message, I was like, but this particular part, preacher said you can't antagonize and evangelize at the same time. And so one of the reasons that I respect you for your position with young poets, other poets, to mentor them, because you have the relationship built upon they see in a certain way.
It's hard though.
It is. I know, because see, I don't do it because I don't want to go through the effort. Like, I don't. My philosophy is this,
and I don't be trying to shit on people, because I know as a writer, as a performer, I'm still working on my craft. But if you ask me for constructive criticism from what I've studied and from what I'm studying myself and trying to improve myself, I'll give you constructive criticism. But at the same time, I try not to go too hard, because like I'm still growing myself. Well,
me, see, and that's the thing about it. I always say all the time, I'd rather be your favorite poet than your favorite person. The other day when you said that, you were like, I don't care if I'm not your favorite poet, you outwork me.
Yeah.
When I first put the favorite poet, I was like, wait, he better be stealing my, that's trademark, sir. But as we talked about, that's real.
Yeah.
To me, like, I don't care if you like me. I mean, because quite frankly, you don't know me anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know Bear. And the pieces of that you deal with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm cool with that. I'm not that kind of person. But you for darn sure gonna respect my hustle, my work. Because I'm good at what I do.
Yeah.
My craft speaks for itself. You may not like me, and there's a whole lot of people that don't. There's a lot of people that don't. Right. I know this.
Right.
People also, why do people don't like you? Because I know they don't. Because we've had those moments. We've had those arguments, and I've seen them, and I see the look in their eye when they see me. And I don't care, because I know you're not going to outspit me. I don't give a damn what you do. You're not going to outspit me. Open challenge to anybody.
And see that right there, I have a whole different mentality. You're saying outspit me. Now, when you say that, you could say you might be speaking to. I'm assuming you're speaking to my particular poem, and my pen game is better than yours. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay. So what I'm saying is, you might be a better writer than me. Your poetry may be way better than mine. But I have curriculums in higher education. I'm getting checks from these white folks who don't want us in these buildings. I am doing things with my pen that people that just getting up on stage and spitting, they can't even wrap their heads around. That's what I'm talking about.
We'll slid back to the bio for a second, y'all. Know what I'm saying? We said we're going to get back there. We said we're going to get back there. You know what? And that's why I said, man, when you posted that, I was like, man, and you started naming, I was like, hey, bro, you ain't going to flex on me. You know what I'm saying? I pulled the poetry card. I didn't pull the deck.
Look, hey, because that's what I mean, because I respect that we have some great writers. Now, delivery, I feel like I'm very good at delivery. I feel like I embody the poem that I'm spitting every single time. But I do respect that other people are better writers. Like I respect that. I know that. I'm aware of that. I'm not so much into myself where I can't acknowledge that. But outwork me? I don't know, brother.
See, I say, okay. So I'm qualifying this. Cause we talked before we actually got on the mic here. Credentials.
Yeah.
You know, my credentials are deep.
Yeah.
This is that I had to have a reason to refer to said credentials.
Got you. Yeah.
Because a lot of times, we had to come on Facebook. I had to go back and think like, man. I was like, what have I done? I was like, oh wait, crap. And I started like listing like the last 15 years. Like, oh, I done made moves.
Yeah.
But to me, where I am at this space, and this is why we're here. Mm-hmm. When it comes to poetry, I'm speaking only of this particular vein and this craft because I love my craft. Like I said, there are some dope pens in OKC. Yeah. There are some stupid pens in OKC.
Yeah.
There are people I know in heart. I was like, bro, I cannot. I would say there's one person I know that I don't think I can do their style. Yeah. That I can say off that. Yeah. We've had this conversation too.
Yeah.
And I'd have to listen to you more. I was like, if I want to get you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, at that point, it would almost feel like, I mean, okay, I copy styles because I want to challenge myself to see if I can do that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's not about, now if you push me, you pull my card, if you want to be that dude, you poke the bear, then I will flex and I will outspit you in your style.
Right.
But I don't seek to do that because, you know what I'm saying? Like that's I'm an ass. I admit that. I am. But I try not to be one.
Hey, look, man, from what you just said, don't preface shit else in this interview. Because that right there, that was plenty of asshole right there. Don't preface
I thought that was
nothing
the nice
else.
version.
Nah, don't preface nothing else.
That was the nice?
You said, I'm going to take your style and wash your ass with it. Pause.
I said, if you push me. Not just in. Oh, anyway, stop looking at me like that. Anyway.
No, don't preface nothing else.
Okay. Hey, man, whatever comes next, y'all blame him.
You've told the listener plenty already that you're an ass.
Oh
don't preface nothing else.
But I'm good at what I freaking do.
But don't preface nothing else.
That is what it boils down to for me.
Yeah.
I respect spitters. Mm-hmm. And like realistically, there's some people that I don't overly care for. Yeah. But if they got a good poem, I recognize that's a freaking good poem. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And to me, for me, when it comes to the work is paramount. Like I said, if you can't spit, sit. Yeah. I think, like I said, I know some great people, some lovely people, some wonderful people that I really like and are really cool. Some really nice people.
That's a preface right there. Shut He about to say some fucked up stuff right now.
I'm just saying, I just prefer not to hear them speak.
Yes, sir.
Now,
yes, sir.
You know, and it's a different kind of thing, man. Because some people got dope pens that really should be read. Yeah, spoken word and slam a different animals.
Yeah, and that's real too. Because it's a few people out there. I ain't gonna name no names. But
so now you're not gonna
nope, I'm not gonna say no names. I ain't say no names. But I can respect their pen, but their delivery sucks. Sucks.
No stage presence. No stage awareness.
No stage presence. No stage awareness. Their delivery either monotone or it's just not
excessive.
Present. Oh, that too. That too. See? But you can listen to the poem and you can tell that, man, that's a good poem.
Oh yeah,
that's a good poem. Yeah. And you know, it's some people out there that I've heard that I hated their delivery. And I'm like, damn, I wish I would have wrote that poem.
Yeah. I really wanted to. I wanted to for years now, but I hesitated to do it because, again, unfortunately, see me. Because knowing me, like I said, I'm not a people person, and I'm not trying to be your friend.
Yeah,
we can be cool. If you're cool and acknowledge we're going to be cool, it's probably going to be, you know, my cup is not that deep, unfortunately, and I burn out on people kind of quick. I'm telling this like for the. Oh my God, this is being recorded. I could cut this later. Okay, I remember one young lady was a associate of mine. She was like, "It's so funny watching around people because you can go like 100 to 0 like real quick. Like you be right there, and you just turn around, and walk off, and go somewhere else." It's like, but it's cool because you've never done that with me. And in my head, I swear, first I said yet, and about a month later, so like, "Where'd you go?" I was like, because like I'm, you know, that's for me. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a. one. I'm talking about OKC. It's in some places, but it's a little better. Okay, anywhere you are, that the network, the clique, the camaraderie is stronger than the quality.
Yeah.
You need to reevaluate.
Yes, sir.
I don't care where you are or who you are.
I agree
I'm not
with that.
picking on anybody or the city, whatever, but I'm just saying we as a whole have got to stop saying that just because I run with, I know.
That
we
you're
got
a dope
echo
poet.
chambers. We got confirmation bias. We got bubbles that your 5 people in your clique will clap for you, but the rest of the audience is like, okay, because it's not as great as you think it is.
And those 5 that's in your clique that's celebrating you, they're celebrating you hard. And they're
Super.
And they're not giving you any criticism. It's
because we bought into that narrative, which irks the piss out of me, that in order to be, for the culture and support our people and we love us, blah blah. That means we gotta celebrate every freaking thing we do.
And we gotta be
which, since we're on that subject, which is why we've had them umpteen arguments about Queen and King. Now I understand.
Oh, is that where we going?
Hey,
is that where we going? Look.
Let me state my position.
I woke up this morning. Knew Bear was gonna come this way,
bro.
Let's go.
I wasn't meaning to, but since we here, I'm still trying to get on the fact that I did a slam and how I had the code switch. That was 30 minutes ago. So we go tackle this.
Hold on, is we gonna talk about the code switching?
Yeah, we will.
Are we
eventually?
We're not done.
No.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna get back.
Okay.
And there's a couple other points I brought up in there. We got to meander back through. But anyway, okay, about this particularly.
Okay. All right.
As I say, I'm a king because I live it, not because you get it. My philosophy is this. I know that we are encouraging ourselves to see ourselves outside the narrative that we've been given. That we are endeavoring to inspire an ambition to reach a higher level of self-awareness and activity that exemplifies who we, quote fingers, were. No, we did not all come from Egypt.
Yes.
And
I always try to make that point too, that you have to understand all of us didn't come from kings and queens.
And that is, you know what I'm saying? There were several dynasties across the 12 kingdoms across Africa from different times and periods. I'm saying, so, I mean, again, reading and knowledge would do wonders. But however, there were not 5,000 kings in one kingdom. So here's my thing. I understand the idea, but what bothers me is, on that particular thing, I know the idea is, okay, I'm going to say it to you, so hopefully you believe it. Yes, queen. Yes, queen. My queen. Cool.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, if you look like, act like, and run like a peasant, I'm not going to call you. See, for me, and this is why I believe that we can still share parity on this.
Okay. Because right now, the last 2 minutes that you've been talking, you've proven my point. Like, that is exactly my point.
That is it's aspirational.
Yes.
My position is,
okay,
I'm looking at the actual activity and consequence.
Yes.
So that's why I say we find parity.
Yes.
We're trying to encourage them to become. I'm saying if you ain't, I'm not going to say it.
And I concur with that.
See, look at that. Now, we done had umpteen conversations, and when you put it on my page, I want to respond, but I was already in Facebook jail. So I was like, I want to message you, man, what I said.
But I concur with that. I concur, and I feel like when we come from elders, we probably cut from very simple cloth, right? You know that your elder, if you ain't shit, your elder will probably tell you ain't shit. Especially if you were an encouraged kid, and but about time you got about 18 and you ain't shit, your elder's gonna let you know you ain't shit. So my thing is that when I originally started calling myself a king, when I originally was calling my mentees kings and queens, this was, man, probably I think I was before I was a noob, because OU people remember my license plate. My license plate said I'm a king, and this was at least 2003, 2004. So saying that, I've been saying this for over 15 years. It's just now Oklahoma City is like caught on,
catching on to it.
But I've been calling people kings and queens for a long time, and my whole thing was aspirational. But if you know me and you ain't on top of your shit, you know Cordney McClain is going to get on your ass and try to get you on top of your shit. Or if I understand that, you just don't want to get on your shit, then I have to leave you by the wayside, because I actually do deal with a lot of other young people that depend on me to get them and sustain some type of sounding board or some type of push and reinforcement for them. So I don't have time to continuously deal with a peasant, if that's what you want to be. So my whole thing is, it is all aspirational. But if I meet a man that I don't know, and you haven't done anything to me, and you haven't showed me that you're not shit, I don't mind greeting you as king.
Well, see, that's my firm belief. I always say that people are like, you got to earn respect. I'm like, nah, my default position is respect.
Yep.
Until you give me reason to believe otherwise. You
know, I actually switched that whole mindset like early 20s. I think until my early 20s, I was like, nah, man, you got to show me respect. You got to show me. And then it was just something that kind of just hit for me in my early 20s. Was like, you know what? I'm going to always show somebody respect. But when you show me that you ain't going to return it, and that same energy isn't transferred over back to me, then that's when you're going to get somebody else. You're going to get a whole different person.
One of the things, like I said, as a certified motivational speaker.
Right on.
You know what I'm saying? With the spoken word artist for Oklahoma City police.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, you got like actual. A lot of people say it. I almost said something hella petty. I almost did, but God, this is recorded. But I'm not going to do that because now this is for. But some people say that they doing some things.
Yeah.
But you are actually official on paper. You can check like somebody's records in the office in the drawer that exists.
Yeah.
In that position, man, you have a high responsibility,
sir,
to do that for people.
Yes, sir.
To inspire them to aspire to higher.
Yes, sir. I,
on the other hand, don't.
I talked about this someone the other day. I said, man, you don't know how many Facebook posts I write out and then delete, because I know the type of bro, I'm telling you,
bro, the stuff you see is the nice version of stuff I want to say.
But I think I really want to say that me and you would have very similar posts sometimes, because some of the things I really want to say, especially when I just see black people not doing what I feel like, and my wife says, don't expect people to do what Cordney's going to do. But man, I was like, man, why are you acting like that? Or why are you moving like that? Or why are you not moving at all? Or why are we celebrating a mediocrity?
Don't expect to do what you do. If what I'm doing is objectively aspiring towards something substantial, then yes, I expect you to do what I am. And that's the issue that I have. There are objective standards of rightness that we have abandoned and abrogated because they're too freaking hard.
Yes.
And that's what bothers me, especially in this game, because we got too many clap corners. It's not even amen corners, because they don't know what you said because they were listening. They just clapping because
or you said, or the person on stage said just a little bit of something that you could relate to. Maybe the last two words was like witty or something like that. So they're clapping for you. But I'm with you with the amen, because they may have heard just a little bit and they ain't even put everything together. They don't even know if the whole bar or whatever you said really makes sense. It was just witty enough to catch their attention, and they related to it.
Or it was there's an ironic and amusing something I've noticed, that people do one or two things. Okay, people are threatened by people smarter than them. Incredibly threatened by it. Unless you can sound smarter, but just really you sound smart, but you put in a certain way.
Before I forget.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I just got some branded. Wait, okay. Now this ain't no camera here, so I can't show it to nobody. Is it for me? Is this for me?
Yeah, it's for you, man.
Oh, okay. So thank you. I got those. So I have in my hands, for those that are not able to see this right now, the Macwoods branded beard comb, which I appreciate, even though Some would chuckle at because I have all of a goatee, all of it.
Hey, you got the goatee hang, man. You got
now,
a little bit.
I do comb it.
Yeah.
And now my goatee will be lovingly touched by the all naturalness of the Macwood's beard comb. Maybe it will encourage my follicles to produce as I've been trying for the last 30 some odd years. And I sure appreciate the Macwood's branded cigar cutter.
Yes, sir.
Because grown men burn.
Yes, sir.
I almost brought one today, but we can't log in here. You know,
yeah.
I was very tempted. I was very tempted. But we shall gather on stage. My preacher, see, my man's got, man. See, you know, people come in on the flex, man. They just, you know, they hand you a 16-page resume. You know what I mean? They got, you know what I'm saying?
I had to show some love, man.
I appreciate the love, man. And because I know it's actually love.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For anybody else.
But you don't like people, so this
is true, and I'm honest about that though. Yeah. I am. So that's why back to what I was saying. Because I don't, I feel like I'm the without being self-aggrandizing or narcissistic, but I feel like the guru.
That's the preface.
Yes, it was. It was. I acknowledge that one. I view myself as the guru on the mountain. That I will accept anybody willing to make the effort to come have a conversation.
Yeah.
The people that I know, and I know some people from everywhere, diverse people. People now that every couple of months they'll hit me up or message or call and say, "Hey, I didn't talk to you. I got something that I know you can work out."
Yeah.
You know that, and they value. So I value your opinion on this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You know that I can provide that insight and perspective that is beneficial. The vast majority of people, you know, I drop some on social media, and that's what you pick the nuggets where you will. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of wisdom in that shade that's thrown out there if you're willing to pick up, you know, what's there. But because, you know, I don't really like it, and because I'm severely petty, I acknowledge that. I'm almost, you know,
but you know,
terminally petty.
Yeah, I'm petty too, so I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
Hey, you know. Birds of a petty feather flock to a corner and chuckle at people together. We point and laugh together. Yes. That's why, shout out to WJ Weird. Every time he says, you know, these people on the stage, the brave people in the room, knowing that half of you are going to be judged them on the car ride home. And I say every single time, no, I judge if you get off the stage. You got 3 lines to catch me. You got 3 lines for me to figure out if I'm going to listen to the rest of your poem or not. Because, and again, I'm not saying I'm cold and freezing cool than a fan. Personality wise, people that know and rock with me like to hang with me because I'm cool. Yeah. The very, very few people that get to do that. And I'm sorry if you're no longer on that list. It wasn't you. It was me not liking you. That sounded so bad. But true. But no. I mean, I understand, man. I'm not. But when it comes to the craft.
Yeah.
Fantastic Bro was like, bro, I told him about this thing. I told him the format. It's about an hour. And so we said, I go kind of thing. He said, man, I don't know if I can talk about something that long. You're going to get tired. I was like, nah, bro. I could talk about this all freaking day. Yeah. Because I love what I do. For everything that I do, if it's music, when I'm talking to cats that do music, we will chop all day. Like, because that's what I love, man. Yeah. And so I take it.
It's an easy conversation.
It is.
It's not labor.
You know, but when you're, well, okay, we're peers.
Yeah.
And that means something. And then a lot of, you know, peers.
Right.
Not just cohorts.
Right.
You know, not just you know, sharing a space. Mm-hmm. There's a certain level of quality there. But what I was saying, I've been wanting for a long time to do workshops with performance poets to teach them how to spit, how to take their poem, and how to really grab that crowd. I have never told an audience to quiet down.
Me either.
Because if I have to tell you to quiet down, I ain't done my job. Yeah. Now, you may be loud when I start, but by my 3rd line, you're going to be quiet because you want to know, what is this cat saying?
And, you know, honestly, I don't think I've ever thought about that. I've never told a crowd to quiet down. I don't think, yeah.
And some people understand this. you can tell. Well, some people can't, unfortunately. When your crowd is quiet while you're spitting, it's a good thing or a bad thing.
Yeah.
Some of them know the difference.
Well, see, I used to have this. I was going through this complex when I first started spitting. I want to say like late 2018, and I was like, man, I'm not getting a whole bunch of oohs and ahs and shit, you know. And really, what kind of sewed it up for me, I had a conversation with this one poet named Bear, and and Crunch Time and Glenn, and they said, oh, you know what? I understand why you're not in slams. Because your type of shit is the kind of shit that hits you in a car ride home.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that so much because y'all don't know, around that time, I was going through an issue within myself. Like, damn, man, is my shit not good? Like, why motherfuckers ain't? But the thing about it is, more and more that I started performing those stages, I would have like crickets in the audience, but the eyes would be on me.
That's how you know.
And then when I walk off stage, people come to me.
Yeah.
So I stopped caring about the claps and oohs and ahs and shit while I'm spitting. If they are deaf and quiet, I know they listening. I know I got them. I got them hanging. And then when I, cause I'm real bad. I'm so particular. I watch playback all the time, like a quarterback watching the plays, watching the footage. And when I'm watching the audience while I'm spitting, they're locked the fuck in. That's how I know I'm doing my job. So I don't worry about the whole they clapping while I'm spitting. I don't worry about none of that. I'm over all of that. I got over that, but I was very self-conscious about that though.
Knowing, like, there's a couple poems, when I first bring it to the stage. The first 2-3 performances, you're working out the kinks.
Yeah.
Now you got your delivery down, but you're working out exactly how it works in a room with people.
Yeah.
And fitting your way through. There's a poem, one of the poems I love, the first time I did it, I remember, like, people didn't really react to it that great. And I'm like, y'all are missing how dope this poem is, like what it does.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna trip on that.
Yeah.
Now, folk were listening. They weren't reacting. The places where I planted those seeds for you to give me those moments, they weren't hitting. If I do it now, though, they catch it.
Yeah.
Because I've learned that. But then again, number one, first and foremost, is the poem dope? That's the question.
Yeah, because sometimes the shit can be dope to us, but that don't mean it's gonna relate over well to the audience.
Now, here's one thing I believe: poetry is a personal art.
Yeah.
Do it for your goddamn self.
Yeah.
You my artistic role model, my idol is Miles Davis. Miles played like he was allowing you to watch him play.
Yeah.
He played like he was allowing you to be in the room while he made and created his art.
Yeah.
So I believe your art is for you. I write stuff that may never see the light of day because it ain't for you.
Yeah.
It's to make me happy. I felt good writing it because I wanted to move my pen because I know I can.
Yeah.
So if I allow you to hear me spit, you're welcome. And it's going to be fuego.
Yeah.
But that's because it's the art. So some things, but again, we talk about this too, talent and skill. God gives us talent. We perfect it with skill.
Yeah.
Some people, quite frankly, just don't have the talent. And it sounds bad to say it, but I am not going to play in the NBA.
Right.
I'm not going to be on something you think you can dance. Because you're like, oh, you thought. Everybody don't have that talent.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, some people don't know that because they're not allowed to because people are hyping it and clapping it up. And that's something that, everything. Now, I was saying a while back, shout out to poetry because it does give people the opportunity to find out if this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
We need spaces where up-and-coming people or new people who haven't can find out, do I enjoy this?
And that's not even speaking to the therapeutic.
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
And much talking to a proverb about that, the space that he writes from and what he writes for and how that works out. And I see that a lot, man. I see now, I will say this. Y'all, I love y'all in general as a species. I love y'all, okay, my fellow poets. But you ain't got to tell us everything about your life on stage. Some things you need to keep to yourself. Because, confession is where you need to go for some of these performances.
Shit.
Like, but yeah, man, it's good that you're able to work through some things.
Working through some things is good, but I love that you speak on the talent and the skill though, because one thing that I feel is, okay, you may not just be super talented, but you could get better.
Oh yeah.
But what I think is, because we have people just clapping it up for you, you come out the gate thinking your shit is fire, and it's really hot fucking garbage. And because people gave you either pity claps or gave you claps because they just fuck with you as a person, now you think you're a dope poet.
I've had people come like, yeah, bro, like, yeah, like we do. I'm like,
we. Hey, you know what I really despise is when somebody say some shit like, yeah, man, I wrote this like you. I wrote I did a poem like you. I said, what you mean like me? Yeah, you know how you write. I wrote it like you. I did this in my Mac Woods. Nigga, what? you don't even know what my process is. Like, what is my full process to go into this poem? Or like, yeah, okay, so you could say you tried to copy the style. Okay, but what's my style? Because if you don't read, you probably don't really know my style, because you don't really understand what I'm doing with the words. And you may not even catch what I'm doing with the words because you don't read much. So don't say that you're trying to do my style if you're not at least an avid reader or avid writer, because you don't even understand what I'm doing with the words.
And nobody can copy my style because I got too many of them.
That part.
Like I said, I switch genres and subjects and styles with equal equanimity.
And I really love how you do that shit, bro. I really love how you do that. I want to be able to switch up like genres and stuff like that more often. I'm digging into that bag. See, I'm always trying to improve, man. And these people out here, they not. They wrote a whack ass poem. They got a whole bunch of claps, and they think they fire already.
Here's what folk don't seem to realize, bro. So am I. I'm always okay. Years back, early mid 2000s, I found the way to write that I enjoyed. I found comfortable. Right. I've been writing since I was in elementary school. I remember my first poem I wrote about 4th grade or so. I still got it somewhere. Yeesh. But I found the style that I liked, the way it flowed. Ever since then, I've been refining and tuning. Right. And discovering what in my style defines my style, what I like about it. And I know that when I write, I'm going to lean kind of toward that direct certain. Yep. So then what I do is, okay, I'm going to do something different. Yeah. Which is why I have pieces that are for spitting and some which are for reading. Yeah. Because they flow different. I'm an internal versus in rhyme person. Yeah. I'm big on that. Yeah. But I have poems that are in rhyme poems. Yeah. Just because I want to say, okay, can I still write an in rhyme poem?
Yeah. Yeah, but the people that are trying to do it at another level, we understand that in rhyme poem shit, unless you are just you are just a crazy, remarkable writer and storyteller, the in rhyme poem shit. At Oklahoma City, we have to stop doing it so often. Like the shit sounds like Hat and the Cat. We own some Dr. Seuss shit here. Bruh. It's very terrible.
It's Oklahoma City. Anybody.
Motherfuckers gonna be mad at us.
Bruh. This is definitely come at the end of the season.
They're gonna be mad.
Because I don't want people to shut the podcast off. You know what I'm saying? Like the first, second episode. Like this gonna have to wait.
Ain't gonna be mad. But hey, man.
Season 2.
Oklahoma City, man. We gotta stop this Dr. Seuss shit.
And okay. Y'all I'll try not to preface.
I have a mantra. I say fuck humble. But I am not egotistical. So if you know me, I am a gracious person. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I know what type of research, I know what type of hours I done put into this shit enough to say that I know what top tier spoken word artists are doing. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma City either we need to transform the whole game or we need to step up to what they are doing. Because we're like, when I hear this Dr. Seuss shit, I'm like, nobody does that. Nobody does that on a higher level. Nobody is doing that shit. That shit's, and it sounds terrible. It sounds like some shit that you'd be writing in 5th, 6th grade. Yeah. It sounds bad.
I just want to add, I keep trying,
preface it.
You know what I'm saying? I've been trying to, it's like I keep letting you roll it because I want to say it like a while back, but y'all, okay, most of the folk hearing this. Okay, well, okay, we are beings who produce small beings, so we know how that happens,
right?
Okay, there's no storks or cabbage leaves,
right?
We know how that happens.
Right.
And
I forgot about the cabbage leaves.
As a father of 2, I'm familiar with how that happens and exactly how that happened.
Yes.
I wasn't trying to have kids, but I wasn't trying not to.
And the practice
it was the
involved.
Process. The process was the fun part. I wasn't aiming for the consequence, but I was enjoying the process. I say that to say, yes, y'all, we know sex happens. It's a beautiful one with the air like that. But good God, can we pick another subject? Now, here's the thing, too. I don't mind. Like I said, whatever genre, I heard a dude once, I forget his name, God forgive me, but I want the dopest one I ever heard. The dude did a poem about Muppets. And he was actually talking about, like, George Bush with that glasses staring in his eyes.
Yeah.
Chain his hand up. Like, bruh. But, I mean, the schemes were ridiculous. And I'm a massive Muppet fan.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you took something I love and you like, bro, it was just epic.
Yeah.
Epic. I blanked for a moment. Okay, and I'm saying, okay, you can do a poem about any freaking thing.
Yeah.
Any freaking thing. And you should. Write about what you want to freaking write about.
Yeah.
It's your pen. It's your freedom. It is your space, your place to follow your joy. Write about anything you freaking want to. But if you're going to do it, don't be repetitive. See, okay. Bruh, we're going the lazy way out. Too many people, I'm going to just say it, too many people.
See, but I don't even believe it's the lazy way no more. I think because people don't read and people don't research and people don't have a broad mind of understanding, they lack the creativity.
They lack the creativity. But I say it's lazy because I know I can say certain things and the crowd's going to be hyped.
Oh, hell yeah.
And
all you got to do is throw a dick or pussy out there.
See, y'all, okay, on this microphone, we're trying to stay PG.
Oh, my bad.
No, I said on this microphone.
Okay, because I was going to say, Bear didn't tell me.
Okay, but hey, rock out. I said on this particular microphone.
The one across the table.
I am trying my hardest. But my guess, do what you do.
Cordney McClain, Mac Woods likes to curse, so.
I'll slap a sticker on this episode so you know what I'm saying I can warn people.
Oh, is that what you told Fantastic Bros? They didn't curse?
He waits like the end. Like he slipped one in there, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
But it's hey, you know what I'm saying? If you click on this is the Bears Den. You don't walk up in a Bears Den without being prepared for some claws moving.
I like the Bears Den too. I told the homie the other day, he always messes with me because I always say, man, I need a man cave. He said, no, man, we distinguish whatever you want to call it a study. I said, I don't like study. A study to me sounds like a boring old white man. A cave is where a beast rests. Hey. And I am a beast. Hey. And that's where I want to rest and be to myself. No, I like man cave. I like the Bears Den. I like that. That's dope as fuck to me. A study, you can keep that shit. And plus, I'm distinguished anyway. I walk in distinguished.
That's why I say, I am a king because I live it.
Right on.
Not because you give it.
Right on.
I was doing what I was doing before people started saying that. Before we attached a name to it.
Yeah.
Before there was a title.
Yeah.
It was just being that dude.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility.
So then when you say that, you shouldn't have an issue with me calling you king then.
Well, no, I don't, because I know me.
Yeah,
I know me.
But then, Bear, why I feel like you give me some pushback
because
when I call you when I call you king.
Not me. I ain't never gonna chip on that. Never, not for me. I'm just saying we gotta start throwing out religion. That's all I'm saying. I think that we are throwing it at places and people that it does not deserve. Because if you want some host, you are not a queen. I'm sorry. It's what it is.
Yeah,
we out here queening people, and then too, God dang it,
you know, it's funny. I feel like it's funny you say that because I feel like I don't call to. I think I might not have an opportunity to call too many women queens.
Here's the deal. I'm not pointing a finger at you. What I'm saying is you are perpetuating a problem that people that are less sophisticated than you, that don't read and don't think, are running with.
I'll take that.
And that is what's the problem with our culture as a whole. Something pops up on Facebook or Twitter and we go, ooh, that sounds real good.
Yeah.
And then we run with it when nobody thinks about what does that actually mean.
Yeah.
This is why I'm seeing other people with t-shirts other as in non or less melanated with queen. I'm like, y'all don't even freaking know why we have that. Yeah. I'm so Lord, please don't this is the last episode of the season. Becky, we know you were queens.
We know you were.
You never let us forget.
Never.
You never let us forget.
Y'all were the first queens and kings that we saw.
I mean, and until we were actually got like a chance to see real history, that was all we were allowed to think there was.
That's why we have hashtag Black Excellence. I need to hashtag. I told when I was in the Army, I had a sergeant ask me because I accept everybody to be my Facebook friend. Mm-hmm. Because if you're my coworker, I want you to see who you're dealing with. Because we may not discuss a lot at work, so I want you to see who you're dealing with. Mm-hmm. So when next time you see me at work, you'll know what I'm all about without us even having to discuss. So I say that to say, a sergeant seen my Facebook. He asked me one time, man, why do you post so much? You hashtag everything Black Excellence, Black Excellence. How would you feel if I hashtag something White Excellence? And I just busted out laughing. I said, Sergeant, I've been seeing White Excellence since I was born. That's all I was taught.
It's called American history,
American history. That's all we get.
What if we had a White History Month? You mean the year?
The full year? You gave us February.
And then part of that you took for you. Okay.
And part of that is between Valentine's and what else?
Well, Women's History, March?
Yeah.
Shout out to white feminists. Let me stop, bro. This is not what this is for.
Boy, sisters do not mess with feminism. I love when the sisters start talking about feminism because, boy, they think they really was doing something for all women, huh?
I always go back to the conversation between Frederick Douglass and Susan B. Anthony. Frederick Douglass, the tireless, famous abolitionist. Mm-hmm. Susan B. Anthony, the suffragist. And she said to Frederick, well, you should help us with this fight for suffrage. This is important. He was like, it's kind of secondary. Well, don't your women deserve the right to vote? He said, Black women are trying to have the right to be people.
Yep.
So we kind of need to be people.
Yeah.
Before we worried about
shout out to Blackish. Do you remember that episode they discussed feminism?
I did not see that.
Oh, it was fire. It was like matter of fact, it brought all of Girlfriends. Oh. It had the whole cast on there. And but anyway, one of the younger daughters, I want to say it was one of the daughters. I want to say maybe the youngest one. She was getting into feminism. No. She was saying she was against feminism. And Rainbow was like, what are you talking about? I'm a part of a feminist group, blah, 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 And when all the Girlfriends came on, which was a dope little moment, they went to Rainbow's feminist group. Mm-hmm. And Rainbow started really looking around the room at all the different topics that was important to the group and have nothing to do with women of color. And then somebody said, well, the worst thing that ever happened to women in this country is the right to vote. And Rainbow like, then you missing 400 years of slavery. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear Black women talking about feminism, I explain that. because in diversity, equity, inclusion, I'm always in spaces where white women try to take over the conversation and make it more about gender rights and gender equality when we still trying to get black folks on board.
It is repositioning the spotlight to put the onus on oneself.
Yep.
Because we are conditioned and trained to, it's about me. Okay, I'm gonna have to pause because because I don't know how this is gonna end up back on poetry. I'm trying to think of how this is gonna like lead back toward.
We're supposed to get back on code switching anyway.
Yes, code switching. So what I was saying was, I went to this particular slam.
Okay.
Boy, that's crazy. Like an hour later, we get back to that part of the story, but we got time.
Yeah.
Today. So I went to that slam.
Okay.
And the people who got picked to judge were like the handful of people that were there.
Okay.
Which were basically, it was a group of white folk, about 10 people, 10, 12 people.
Okay.
There was like maybe 20 people. There was 30 people at the event, and 10 or 12 of us were part of the performance part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So they were just there, and it was like, hey, would y'all mind judging this slam? They're like, what's a slam? That's sign number one.
They were just in the...
They were just there.
Was it like a bar?
No, it was at this. It was in a. I'm not gonna say where it was.
Okay, because when you have an environment like a bar or a lounge, those people were going to be there anyway, and sometimes they'd show up and be like, "Oh, I have poetry night."
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it was again. It was part of a larger event.
Okay.
That
and they
did
just
not
put some poetry in it.
Yes, that it was cross promotion.
Okay.
And the main promotion part fell through.
Okay.
They failed miserably, which threw off the other, because now we were expecting to have the crowds and audiences, etc., to make this work.
Yeah.
Was no longer there. So I get up. It's a 3-round run. Okay, cool. And I do my opening piece of Bear Fest stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
And I got that one line. I say, how dope am I? So I'm so dope that a Chinese man grew me, a Mexican man moved me, a black dude sold me, and a white dude smoked me.
Yeah, yeah,
That's pretty goddamn dope. Now, I hit that last part, the white dude smoked me, and people put their pads down, people started looking around, I saw whispers, and I said to myself, well, I'm glad I came because I'm not going any further. Like that was me giving up my right to a contest. That was me like, okay, well, thanks for listening. Now, what I thought was, that poem is dope. Yeah. Like, it's got bars on bars on bars on bars.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
Kids, if you want to know how to make a beast of a poem, go on, cop it, but keep coming back, because I'm telling you, it's the blueprint for beastiness. Blueprint for the beastness. But now, so I'm like, poets will appreciate the poetry. I've stood in spaces where there are a lot of a lot of lesbians and such. Yeah. And I've spit poems about changing perceptions on things and different like that, or taking your girl, or my lesbian stalker, different like that, you know. And every now and then, one in the crowd looking at me like, really? But nobody trips because the poem itself is solid.
Dope. Yeah.
So the art, appreciating the craft, that you can say things and do things that's why I say what makes Dave Chappelle a genius. I really think he's much better at this level of his career than he was prior. Yeah. Because
and it looks so effortless.
So ridiculously effortless.
It looks like he left and like maybe was abducted by aliens.
Don't know that, because we're gonna start that. You know how we do. Oh, he a clone. Gucci a clone. Like, right. Because he wasted money.
Man, I always felt like his I was about to say poetry. I feel like his craft was very smart. You know, he's a smart comedian. But man, the way that he does it, and the way that he like 360s his points, he like the way he bookends is just, man, masterful.
It seems like he's finally when you hit DBZ reference incoming, when you ultra instinct your craft, when you stop thinking about it, when you stop sweating it, and you stop wondering if y'all going because you know you're good. Yeah. But most importantly, you know it's good because it's good to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
That part right there, bro.
If you know it's objectively good, one. When I say my stuff is fire, I can put my stuff up against other people. Yeah. And I have because again, I've competed against the top people in the freaking world.
Yeah.
And I know because I listen and read what people do and how things are put together. Yes, sir. I can look at their lines and bars and schemes, etc., and compare it to mine and say, I'm on par with.
Yeah, yeah.
I know national poets right now say, I will give you a run for your money.
Yeah.
I'll make you put your track shoes on for real.
Yeah.
And mess with me. I hope that you have more ways to deliver than one because I got 3 poems on a whole different direction that have you scrambling to keep up.
Yeah.
Because I want to push myself to be better in my craft and pen. But I know that objectively comparing the two, we're on par.
What's up? Yeah. Right?
So at that point, okay, Gordon Ramsay cooks at the house. Imagine when he cooks at the house.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, imagine when he cooks at the house. Yeah.
Shout out to Daniel Jackson, Slowpoke. Is a trained chef. He doesn't do it now, but he was a chef.
Yeah. And
I've seen the Joker cooks at the house, how he cooks breakfast at the house.
Yeah.
When you're good, you don't have to. You get to a point. I'm not proving to you I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm doing it because I love doing it.
I'll do this excellence with nobody watching.
And it's going to be good. But most importantly, it's good to me.
Yeah.
It's good to me.
Yeah. So I was in a space where, and I feel like all of this happened like between like early 18, like late 2019. But I got to a point where I wasn't asking people to like give me their opinion on my poems before I start spitting them. I'd write them and I get to be like, man, yeah, this shit good. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get this together where I can memorize it and be able to internalize it and then perform it because I feel like it's good because it's good to me, like you said. And yeah, that's a whole nother level. Like you stop asking people their opinion. Like, I don't give a fuck about your opinion. I know this shit good. And now I just got to perform it. I got to perform it and sell it because I know it's a good poem.
I don't know if I've ever. I said, well, I don't rock with a lot of people like that. First off, and then the number of people I know that I trust to actually know what they're looking at.
Yeah, to know what they're looking, and that's my thing too. I think I stopped sharing so much because I felt like it wasn't enough people around that was picking up on the things that I was trying to put down. You know what I'm saying? I would have a crazy scheme in there that I knew intentionally that I put it in there, and they didn't catch it. And I'm like, okay, was it not fire? Okay, maybe it wasn't. Maybe it wasn't super fire, but you didn't even catch it.
Yeah.
Like even if it wasn't crazy as what I thought it was, you didn't catch it.
Still.
You know what I'm saying?
You have a nod or something.
A nod or something. Like you had to like notice the creativity in this particular run. Like you didn't see that at all. There's like 6 lines.
So I've gotten aware, and we talk about this too, man. Rarely, but a few people I will, after I spit out, ask, what you think, bro?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most now because people I know at this point, I already know.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
But although you like say, bro, that was, you know. And that's the people I love to sit in. I like to sit and talk to people after events with fellow poets and just chop.
And you know, I feel like I'm not even gonna say I missed that. I never had that opportunity because when I'm in these spaces, I'm trying to hurry up and get back to the kids and stuff like that. Yeah. But I would love to be in those spaces where, you know, you're sitting down with like-minded individuals or what have you. I don't like saying like-minded individuals because you don't want to be in spaces where everybody thinks the same, but at the same time,
peers of the craft.
Which
I've been thinking about. Y'all heard it here kind of first. That seeing how things go. If this episode allows us to have a next season, You know what I mean?
We ain't gonna blame Mac Woods. That's not what that's not what we're gonna do. That's not what we're gonna do.
Where's my blame button? This is on you, Playboy. But I've been kind of thinking about that, man. Doing some episodes of just round tabling.
Yeah,
of some poets, man, just chopping.
I like that. That'd be dope to get those different perspectives, and if you can grab some individuals. Make sure you definitely have some women in the room and grab some individuals from out of state, different states, for that perspective as well. That'd be dope.
My first, foremost, premier, prominent, only criteria, you got to be a dope spitter. Yeah. And my thing is, shout out to BCC once again, Black Thought Collective.
All right, so for somebody listening to this, what makes a dope spitter? Okay,
I'm supposed to be asking questions here. Okay, for Bear personally. I gotta. Okay, if I close my eyes, listen to your poem, you got something going. For me, show me something new, something different.
Yeah.
Show me something that everybody else is doing.
Yeah.
Show me that you thought about what you were doing. Show me you spent some time doing. Now here's something else too. Okay. One of my ace partners, Mr. Brandon B.C. Clemens, shots and McKinfolk, stupid dope photographer, graphic designer.
Yes, sir.
I have sat that man's feet on many a day and night in Langston, just absorbing. The brother is a beast at what he does.
Yeah.
Consistently qualified. Everybody in Oklahoma and the surrounding states know.
Yes, sir.
Dude's a beast. We had a conversation because he's also a very low key cat. He's a very nice guy. Which I say, what's the detriment of time? I'm like, bro, I gotta help you be more me, because you be putting yourself in a situation because you want to say no to something like no.
Yeah.
But he didn't want to charge so much for certain stuff. He's like, it took me 5 minutes to do. I like, so do you look at it? Well, bro, I put some work on this. I know it's saucy. Nobody can do that. It's dope, bro.
Yeah.
It only took me 5 minutes. It took you 5 minutes because you spent 5 years building your skill to be able to do it.
Yeah.
You had a talent, a gift that you've honed into a skill. Now you know what all the tricks and tips are to do stuff that people can't even guess how it was done.
Yep.
You can do it and crank them out because you're that freaking good. Yep. So I'm saying at a certain level, for myself personally, just myself an example, not tooting my horn, but for me personally, I can scribe a poem in 3 or 4 minutes, and I can spit it. You be like, damn, that was fire. I'm like, thank you. I know it was. But it's just because I'm at a point, and again, quite honestly, if you like it or not, it's secondary to me. I just, like I said,
unless you
Gordon Ramsay,
unless you're paying me.
Oh, well, no place. You're gonna love it,
right?
And we'll get to that in a moment. But like I said, Gordon Ramsay cooks at the crib. He cooks because he loves to do it.
Yeah.
He cooks because that's who and what he is. So you can eat in my restaurant, and you're gonna love it because I'm good at what I freaking do.
Yeah.
But when I get in the afternoon, I'm in my kitchen on Saturday, and I'm here pulling stuff. I'll go to the market the day before and get the fresh stuff, and I'm whipping up magic.
Yeah.
Because I want to.
Yep.
And so so to me, a dope poem is something that it took work to get there, time to get there, not that you spent 15 hours. And if you did on one pump, fine, cool. I mean, that's your process. I'm not knocking it. But I can tell there's something deeper there than just what everybody else is feeding.
Yeah.
And that it means something to you.
And, even when I hear like older poets, you come into contact with that's been doing it for decades, and you listen to it, I'm like, man, I like my poetry, but I need to live a little longer. Because some griots will have you feeling like I need to live a little longer because just the details, and that's why I really love women poets. They're so detail oriented, and if their pen is fire too, it's crazy. It's crazy because they're detail oriented. They're a woman, so I feel like they're more detail oriented as well. And then the eloquent touches, so they can the simple things of a summer's day. especially coming from a black woman, is just so profound in the way that they deliver it, the way that they had written the details of it. It's just like, yeah, I need to live a little longer because I didn't notice that, you know. And I feel like the longer you live, the more mature you get, the more age you are blessed with. You start picking up on little details, you know, about people's personalities, about smells, about how the air feels on the back of your neck, how the sun shines, all that type of stuff. I feel like comes from being able to age and be able to live a little longer. And I think all of that affects your pen. So when you talk about somebody that can scribe something in like 3 minutes because of the years they have from writing, I feel like that plays a big part in that too.
I think I always say age does not maturity equate. I go back to, I think my perspective, a lot of it comes from how much of yourself you accepted. Because in theory, as you get older, ideally, you should come to know yourself in a different space. You should come to know and accept certain things, to recognize in and of yourself that this is the person I am. Not that you become complacent. And I'm just going to accept it because I hate that one thing. You know, you got to take me as I am. About like, no, you do be better.
Be better.
But that I acknowledge, like I said, I acknowledge I'm not a people person. You know, and whatever that is. But also, if I rock with you, I'm done like 4 flats on a Cadillac. I'm the most loyal joker you gonna find.
And that's different too, because you're accepting you're not a people person, and you may not change. But if I fuck with you though, heavy. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, so I've accepted that I'm not really wired for large groups. Which means I put myself in space to do the good that I desire to do in certain ways and frames. Like I said, if you come to me, I mean, we can chop. Like I said, if a person came to me like after like a dope post like that, whatever, and just want to sit down and like ask questions like that, we'll talk all day. I have no problem with that. You know what I mean? Because I love it, and but I'm not gonna seek you out. I'm not gonna be in the middle of a group of 15 people. Now, if I'm in a group of 15 people, it's 15 the dopest poets you ever freaking heard. And we're like, and we really chopping up game.
And then there's 40 people around looking like, I wish I could be in that circle. And you mess with me and Mac, we're gonna be like, stay over there. Don't try to work your way over here because you haven't. Sorry, sir. And there's some people, unfortunately, that we know who think they belong in that circle, who
because they be getting the hand claps, these pity applause, and not all of it is pity. It's just like they
your
showing
compatriots
love.
Show you love, and it's subjective. You know what makes it good. Let me ask you that. What do you think?
Okay. My whole thing, especially coming up from hip hop, is the ability to play with words. And that your concepts, very much like what you said, is creative. You came up with something from a different perspective. You took Black Power, and it just wasn't totally all blackity black. Like for instance, I know this is gonna sound crazy, but I hate Black love poems. Like most of them sound like a cliche ass Love Jones poem. Matter of fact, I got a poem called "Death to Darius Love Hall" because it is just, you know, it's the classic pussy poet. I'm just doing it to get laid, and for me, I can hear that in the poem that you wrote it to just get laid. You didn't write it with a strong sense of really coming from somewhere, or no type of true self-actualization came from this poem. Nothing real came from this poem. Matter of fact, I don't even feel like you really internalized it. So a lot of times that's why people mess up on stage, because they don't know their poem because it wasn't real to them. You know, I feel like a lot of people, they can run it all day, but they'll get up on stage and flop because they hadn't really internalized the poem because they don't believe it themselves. So, you know, I can, you know, when I know a poem, I can spit it backwards. I can take breaks and talk to the audience. I I can say one verse, then go to the fourth one, then come back to the second. I can do all of that because I've internalized it and I was believing what I believe what I wrote. So even if the person isn't just crazy witty with his lines, his or her lines, or maybe it wasn't just crazy creative, it's something about the person really believing their words. And that maybe that just comes directly from the delivery and the little details, the little minute details that's in the piece. That's what makes it dope to me, because it cannot be the most complex thing and still be dope. It doesn't have to be crazy complex. Shout out to J. Cole that just dropped. Everybody wanna ride J. Cole nuts. Look, J. Cole is not the best lyricist.
He is not.
But when it comes to providing a vibe,
Yes, sir.
when it comes to when he says it, it feels like he really feels that. He provides that. So shout out to K-Dot. He'll never be better than K-Dot. But
Affirmative.
He'll never be better than Kendrick.
Affirmative.
They are not in the same league. But I appreciate J. Cole because it feels like he really believes where he's coming from, and he provides a vibe that you can't deny. So if somebody in a poetry form is providing me that, and I can believe their words, they're dope to me.
I have a couple of my favorite poets. They're not the most complex. They got their metaphors are nice. They exist. They're there.
They're there.
They're not just basic, just generic.
Oh man, that whole "this is like that."
New challenge
to me. That's lazy. That's that lazy
new
shit.
Challenge. We do some simile poems and beast them bad boys.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, they're not the most complex, wordsmith poems.
Yeah.
But the way they spit, it feels like you feel it like it almost feels like you're breathing out their words. It's a weird metaphor to put that way, but it's so
No, I feel that.
It's so natural, so real, so personal, so personable that it just feels familiar and comfortable.
Yeah.
And that to me is so freaking dope because I
had to get out of the mind state of trying to be super lyrical. When I first started when I first started writing anyway, that was like 9th grade. And because my English teacher told me, well, rap is poetry. When she told me that, I was locked in. And then I started going and reading lyrics all the time. So that's why when somebody be like, oh, well, J. Cole is better than Kendrick, I said, yeah, you never read lyrics before. Because I will go read lyrics. Read the lyrics.
And I will say this, and fight me if you want to. CeeLo Green will eat both of these lunch.
Oh, CeeLo Green is crazy.
CeeLo.
And to be able to really read the lyrics. And
I have millenniums of material and rivers of rhythm, an entire ocean of emotion that's enlightening to swim in. Also a forest of feeling, beating paths of peace. Trapped inside my silhouette, I got to speak to release. Bruh, I heard that and I was like, and... goat.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So to be relatable. Like,
yeah.
I wanted to have the moments where they're like, damn, that analogy was tough. Damn, he played with the words. The wordplay was crazy. But I felt where he was coming from to a point where they were in my living room, when it happened. You know what I'm saying? And I really wanted to make sure that I was not just trying to be on my Eminem shit, but I really wanted you to feel where I was coming from. Not that I'm just technically good, that you really felt where I was coming from.
That's something I strive for and aim for all the time, man. Like I had a good, depending on the poem, the type of poem.
Yeah.
If it's a poem about females, some of them, I'll pick out one in the crowd. And I'll talk to her.
Yeah. And
people get the sense and the feel like I'm actually talking to. I've had people that legit was like, "Oh, I was like, I wrote that like years ago."
Yeah, I don't fuck with her like that.
You know what I mean? Kind of thing. It's like, but and I've had points where people didn't quite know where my poem started because
you transitioned
so well. But everything I say before a poem, except the necessary tags to start kind of, we got our introductions and that kind of thing. I try to keep mine short. Some people's are more involved, like a poem of itself. Yeah. It's like you got a minute long. Like that was just your announcement. Like this is who I am. Okay, but it's dope. Do you? But I try to make it flow so naturally. Yeah. That it feels like at a certain point, I want people for a lot of poems, I want people to like kind of catch themselves like, oh crap, he's in another poem right now. Yeah. That you just think that I just happen to be spitting this conversation. And it's
super eloquent.
It's super eloquent and all these internal rhyme schemes and dope metaphors. And like it's almost like a dope freestyle. Yeah. That you realize, oh crap, we're actually in the poem right now. Yeah. But you're here listening to me. We're having a conversation. I want to have a dialogue from the stage. Yep. I want to be able to tell you something. And though you're not speaking back to me, your mind, internally, we're having this back because you're seeing yourself, you're seeing me in this position. And again, it depends on what poem I'm doing. Yeah. Do I want you to see you or do I want you to see me? Yeah. Yeah. Am I trying to invite you in? Am I painting a picture? Am I telling you a story for the entertainment purposes? Yeah. Am I telling you this is where I miss my swag so you can't touch me? Yeah. Where do I want you in this place? But I always want the audience to be connected. Yeah. And what I know some people that do amazing, super personal poems. And I mean, okay, if you can do that, one of my favorite, I pray I'll have it on here soon. I can say soon, even though it's going to be a last episode, but we're recording these. She'll be here later. The lovely Miss Larissa Carter. Yeah. I absolutely love everything she does, and I'm in awe. And I'm like, I tell her, like, man, I can't do that. Yeah, because it definitely be like personal. It naked, like seriously, totally naked, seriously. And it's stuff that and crazy. Like she doesn't have to give you her bio. Or I have to. This is not a journal. Mm-hmm. This is not me sitting here reading you. Okay, at 3:00 I woke up crying about him, but it's so real and so personal. Like I said, it's naked poetry. Yeah, and it is absolutely fire. Yeah, like every time I'm sitting, like I'm sniffling. Yeah, me and Wig have those conversations about. If you was on the stage, and when you get off of the stage, the audience knows nothing about you. Like, not your values, not where you came from. Like, they know nothing about you. What the fuck was you talking about up there? Well, okay, in a sense, because again, unless it's a particular type of concept poem where you're going for something particular, but if they know nothing about you ever, like, you're there every Wednesday. Well, I say this. The thing is, I don't want people to know me. Right. That's why nobody knows my name. It's my real name. Like I had coaches like, why don't you tell me other? Because I said it's too personal. Like I don't want you to know. Yeah. And you for sure is okay. Now you might, if you're on Facebook, you know my government. Yeah. But you for sure know my middle name. Because right. I don't. But I want you to feel like when I step off that stage. That you have, it's hilarious. People are like, man, I know what you're going through, man. I was the same thing. I'm thinking like, and but you know what? But that's kind of different too. That goes into like even a whole different subject because if you can make them feel like for instance, my father poems, I necessarily don't feel that way. But I know people who do feel that way. Hey, Will Smith's about the episode. I know my daddy. That wasn't about me. Right. Like just like that. Like when I do my father poem, people reach out to me on that. Even my big brothers, which are my half brothers and my half sister. I got 6 brothers and 1 sister, and they be thinking I'd be really going through something when I post those daddy poems. Like no. I'm a griot that was speaking for other people that are going through this. And some of that may be about how I feel, but pretty much it might be 5% of me. Yeah.
5% of me, 95 of what I know that other people go through, what I see my mentees go through, what I personally know from them telling me how they feel about their absentee father. But I'm not over here hurting about my absentee father. I'm good. I'm 36. I'm good.
I believe in that, man. Like I like to tell stories. And I believe, again, now we talk about this too, as a background.
So with that, if you help somebody deal with their thing because you spit something, you wrote something so well that they related to it and it helped them deal with it, then to me that cancels out you exposing your naked truth,
which is what that's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
that's how I feel about it. In some way, form, or fashion, I'm gonna give you something you relate to.
Yeah.
Something you relate to.
Yeah.
Depending on no matter what it is, something you relate to. I say before in front of some poem, I heard a couple poems. This may not be a true story.
Yeah.
You'll never know what parts are true because sometimes some of it is. Right. But I mean,
it could be based on a true story.
You know what I'm saying? Who freaking knows?
Yeah.
But as having an acting background, I know about and believe in building a character and the relatability of the character.
Yeah.
You're supposed if you watch somebody perform and you're like, they're acting, they're failing.
Yep.
If you look like you're acting, you're failing. Yep. Now, that's a lot harder than people think it is. Because being a good actor takes a lot of freaking work. And it takes a lot of talent. Yeah. Because some people just ain't got it.
Yeah.
I have like a top 5/8 of performances of like just legendary performances.
Yeah.
And one of them is Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder.
That shit was fire. I don't think enough people either know or just give him kudos on that. Like,
bruh. Okay, at a certain point, if you're not careful, you'll forget he's not black. But you'll definitely forget he's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
You will go watch the entire movie and completely forget that's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
Because he is nowhere in that role.
Yep.
And after a while, if you buy into it, you'll see Osiris Jackson. But you will lose him.
Yeah.
And that to me,
bro,
that's acting.
You speaking directly to that is why, like, I'm getting typecasted. I'm trying to do my acting thing, man. I'm getting typecasted in handsome dude in a suit or love interest or something like that. I'm like, man, give me something that I can really get outside of myself. So when people when they watch that, they're not seeing Cordney McClain. They're not seeing Mac Woods. They're not seeing that. They're seeing that character. See, I need something like that.
Here's, I think, we're as I was going to talk about this at one point. Where I think I have that ability because I am anti-people and I don't want people to know me. Now we're getting, you know what I'm saying? Okay, I've always been, there's this front side that you deal with, and there's the me behind it.
Right.
Now, that has its detriment time. If you're not careful, you'll lose. Because you can change. It's just what happened with Robert Downey Jr. I'm Father O'Malley or I'm Buzz Aldrin. Like all them characters start coming out.
Yeah.
Because he been behind those characters so long, he lost him.
Yeah.
However, what makes a damn good actor is you got to be less you.
Mm-hmm.
And some of us, but okay, you're successful as you. You got 15 pages of accolades and credentials as you.
Yeah.
You're super established as you.
Yeah.
And you is effective in everything you do. Poetry, to the boardroom, to the classroom, wherever.
Yeah.
I believe to be a really good actor, you got to know how to shed you.
Yeah.
You got to lose you. Because, okay, people gripe about Denzel winning an Oscar for Training Day, which, for the record, that's his second Oscar. Because people don't read. That's his first leading Oscar, but that's his second Oscar. The first one, supporting actor for Glory.
Yeah.
And if you seen Glory, that was contention for that movie because everybody in that movie was beasting.
He had Morgan Freeman in it.
Matthew Broderick. Carrie Elways. Morgan. I mean,
it was
that was a stacked cast. And that Andre Braugher, oh my God, underrated beast. Like, so many people, man, are just killing in that. So shout out to being the one that picked out of that.
I didn't think about Andre.
Denzel. The reason he got trained. I told people this, man. I said, I guess as an actor, I understand a little differently. He won for Training Day because he played against type.
Yep.
Nobody's seen him play anything but the responsible father, nice, you know what I'm saying?
At that time.
Yep.
At that time, they hadn't seen it.
With Robin Williams, the Death to Smoochie.
Damn, I don't think I've seen Death to Smoochie.
Death to Smoochie. Then there was
that one of his serious roles?
It was a dark comedy. He was like in this. It was the mascot. It was him and what's his name? Another freaking great actor. I'll think of it in a second. Anyway, 1 Hour Photo.
Yeah.
His darker stuff.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know that.
People didn't know how to deal with that. But see, that's the thing about it. When you act, there's the character. There's me. And we talked about one of the reasons I wanted to have this podcast.
Yeah.
To talk to Chop with poets, because your fans, the people that know Mac Woods, right?
Yeah.
They see Mac Woods and they're fans of Mac Woods. The dude's dope, bro. The way he dresses, the way he spits, the way he writes, that dude's dope.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's really like that. Is he cool? He seems cool.
Yeah.
Me acting for the stage work I've done, 90% of what I love about it and why I do it, and I actually go off roses, 90% of it is for the backstage. Well, okay, let me say 80. Part of it is I want to be, I love lead roles.
Yeah.
Not because I want the accolades, but because those the hardest parts generally.
Yeah.
In a well-written play, and I've done a lot of musicals especially, so all supporting is all going to be like a character or something. But the lead is going to have some complexity and arcs and development, some stuff to chew into.
Yeah.
One of my favorite I didn't get to do was Judge Fry in Oklahoma. I'm like, there's so much you can do with that character.
Yeah.
To elevate it beyond what people just typically run with. So I love the challenge and stretch of that role.
Right.
But when it comes to stage stuff, I love the green room because I love hanging with fellow actors because we speak the same language, we understand. And to see them when they're not in costume.
Yeah.
When they're not playing a character. When I did Oklahoma, and I did it down in Dallas, shout out to Dr. Sam Germany and Family Music Theater at that time, Springlake College. I always got a shout out everything. I got to somebody, you know what I'm saying? So I can see them, you know what I'm saying? But much love to my people. The guy who played Curly and the guy who played Judge Fry, if you know the actual play or whatever, Curly, both of them are in love with Laurie.
Right.
Curly's the good, upstanding cowpoke kind of thing, the nice, clean cut. Judge, the one that lives out in the shack in the back, who's dark, disturbed, and obsessed.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing, right?
Yeah. In Middale schools, we had to either watch it or something every single year.
It's it's the Oklahoma State play, kind of thing. So hate each other, try to kill each other. Them two dudes, like they're their best friends.
Yeah.
So I got to watch them have an interaction on stage and be hanging out. We playing cards in the back.
Yeah.
But the people who come to see the show don't see that part.
Yeah, they don't know that.
And they want to know. The things you see a character and you wonder like, oh man, I wonder we're talking to Fantastic Bros about, and that Family Guy episode, that one Cutaway, where Peter, he's providing nighttime warmth for Laura Flynn Boyle. And she's laying it under his belly, like she's his belly like it's a blanket.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
He's like, Laura, it's like, yeah. It's like, is Dylan McDermott nice in person? She goes like, yeah. He goes, good.
yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Because we do that with people that we admire. We wonder what they're really like. Who
exist in a sphere that we are not a part of. And so why I wanted to do this was to give your fans a chance to get a glimpse behind the curtain of the mind that moves the pen.
Right.
So speaking of that, you know what I'm saying, at this juncture, we are deep in this thing. Let's talk about that pen. So,
deep.
Spit poet, what you got for us?
Well, I wanted to spit Black Cordney. So, you know, I've got lighter over the years. I don't know how I've got lighter. Maybe I'm just getting.
This is lighter?
Yeah, I got lighter.
Wow.
I was a darker kid.
Okay, so again, this is not. There's no video record of this, so y'all are not going to see this. But I say this in love, and I can say it because I'm black too, bro. If you were darker,
I was darker.
You were a spot. Your nickname was Midnight.
I was darker. Your
nickname was Shadow.
Look, and
Shadow Henderson, shout out.
and most of my, and you know, I guess because of the Cherokee or whatever, we're Cherokee freemen. A lot of my family is light skinned.
Okay, now you can say that because I know you've actually done the necessary work to.
Yeah.
Because black people.
But you know what? In my early 20s, I had just learned what Cherokee freedmen was. We were slaves to the Cherokee. You know, so the whole pride in that is kind of just like, washed away by your 20s. It's like, okay, Cherokee, black, whatever. I was a slave.
I was gonna say something else, but I pissed off enough people in this, so I'm not gonna say what also crossed my mind. We'll discuss it when the microphone's off. Go ahead.
All right, so as a kid, being darker, they used to say, "Hey, Cordney, with your black ass, how you so dark and your mama so light skinned? Damn, you black with your black ass. You so black, you can show up naked for funerals. You so black, if you walk into a restaurant with a black shirt and black shoes on, you get kicked out because the manager say no shoes, no shirt, no service. You so black that when you was born, God looked down on you and said, damn, I done burnt another one. So black that my reflection was masked because it wasn't reflective of the mask. And they want me smiling and so light-skinned. I'll be honest. When I was in 3rd grade, I told my only black male teacher that I wanted to be all white. He looked perplexed and looked at me and asked me why. And I said, because the hair moves in the water. All of them have their father. You think they're always smarter, and I would be able to find the perfect marker, to draw and color myself with. Cordney, you is black. You is so black, your school pictures look like ultrasounds. You is so black, if I cut you, your ass would bleed smoke. Your ass is so black. I am so black that I found out early about self-hate, till it became much clearer about the reflection in the mirror. What Big Papa couldn't do nothing about or would have been killed for. See, Big Mama was raped by her slave master, and she used to close her eyes to take her back to her homeland while Master had his pants down and told her to never speak of this. And the rape of Big Mama created light-skinned babies that were confused but felt proud because now they are a part of the overseer, but still 3/5 of the master too. And this has still been the inability of the black man to protect his wife and kids has had him run from his family ever since. And the essence of what black beauty is or was has mutated into blonde hair and blue eyes. And you sure is fine for a girl that's dark skinned. Cordney, you is black. You so black that if you hit yourself, you'd be deemed black on black violence. Cordney, you is so black that when you run out on the playground, the kids run and scream and say, what happened to the sun? What happened to the sun? The earth, engulfed in a shadow cast by the moon of this black hole wearing a crown of fire, like while millions stare, terrified yet amazed. Like this the day the good Lord said he'd come back and divide the righteous from the wicked. See, the problem with that is when I was at a tender age of 6, I thought I was the wicked. Cackling babes, children circle me to devour on my securities. To be so black. To be so black, 20 years of a running faucet, soaking myself with self-disgust. To be so black that I used to go, that I was digging for decades, that I had to discover that I was not disastrously died. To be so black, I used to go with Big Mama to clean white folks' homes. She took hog remains and created fine cuisine for somebody else's family, but still had generations of love left over. To be so black when there was no way, my mama made a way. She heated up my bath water on the stove, and she raised a young black boy as dark as Dick Gregory's inner thoughts in an old white world that only saw his complexion as probable cause. To be so black, to be so black, to be so black, to be so black that rhythm resonates on our soul like our forefathers are beating the bowels of our bellies to scream, remember who you are. To be so black that I don't even think that racism will ever fade. Because they can't handle this black ass pride, black ass courage, this black ass perseverance, this black ass rage, this black ass love, all wrapped and packaged behind this beautiful black ass face. But I pray that one day they'll stop playing these old paper bag games. Black Cordney.
Well, I think I'm finished writing black poems.
And see, like, so the funny thing about the intro to that poem is, so I had Black Panthers. I had 2 Black Panthers that were like godmothers to me. So they taught me Jesus was black. You know, everything was blackity black really early. But when I started going to school, that was the friction I was dealing with because now I'm only seeing white. So at a young age, you know, we sleep on the fact that yes, our kids are sponges that can soak up ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. They're also soaking up institutionalized racism. So we sleep on how that's affecting our kids too. So when I'm in this system, even though I had these strong black women pushing black beauty to me and black pride, all of that, as soon as I was put in the system, that shit started to be tweaked. It started to be affected. Where I'm thinking, well, maybe my people ain't right. Maybe white is right. So that really started affecting my psyche. So, you know, so that poem, you know, talking about 3rd grade was probably a little earlier, because about 3rd grade, I think I had come to the part where I was making people uncomfortable. I was saying Jesus is black in a room full of white kids, stuff like that. But, you know, I do remember that. I remember it affected me to the point where I remember those white kids damn near crying when I said that in that classroom. Then I took that same situation and created a persuasive essay and a persuasive speech and presented it when I was a sophomore at OU to an all-white class. The funny thing about it is the professor and all my white peers were like, man, you make a strong argument. Because, you know, I'm talking about Kemet being the place of blacks and what it means and just putting all of that together. And they're like, well, I mean, if he was a physical person on Earth, it makes sense for him to be darker. Well, and so like me seeing the switch from having a classroom full of white kids breaking down to white kids that are very much still much in their white privilege and with all the things that come with that, but being like, okay, well, maybe you might have a point, you know, like that full circle, you know, from 6 to 20.
Yeah, man. I actually want to digress, like just talk about like just your schemes, man. Like I appreciate, you know what I'm saying, you break it down, you know what I'm saying, the powerful, metaphysical, you know what I'm saying, and what you've done for the, you know what I'm saying, uplifting, right. You know what I'm saying, breaking down Whitey, you know what I'm saying, telling him what he is and the truth, you know what I mean, you know what I'm saying. I will say to digress, you know, Jesus was a Hebrew, he's not technically black, so yes, he wasn't white, right, but he's not necessarily technically black, but that's another discussion. So I'm just saying, if you were born of Hebrews, we know what they look like. We see those now. Anyway, but your transition, first off, was stupid dope. Because by the time your 3rd line, I realized you were doing a poem. High five, my guy.
High five. And that's the point, right?
That is, bruh. I was like, this Negro really just hit me with the transition. Talk about Bruh, I feel so proud. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I'm in good company,
you
brother.
did things, bro, that I absolutely love, that I try myself to do. And I'm not a comparative, but I endeavor to do, and I recognize when people do. If they cut you, you bleed smoke. The common cliche is ink.
Yeah.
But you didn't go for the easy. You didn't go for the known, the regular.
Yeah.
You just have to be black on black crime. If you walk into the store with a black shirt, it should be no shoes, no shirt, no service. You can go to a funeral. I mean, these are what I was expecting certain things to go. They didn't go. Now, to the question earlier, what I qualify as a good poem? That's a good poem.
Appreciate it, brother.
Because whenever you don't end up where the audience thinks you're going, that's something, because that sticks, that lasts.
Yeah.
That triggers their brain to function.
Yeah.
Wait, I gotta rearrange. I'm not just a passive participant anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of what people are fed is so.
How many times have you been in a room and you can guess correctly the next word the poet uses?
Entirely too many.
Yeah.
Entirely too many.
Yep.
Because we've heard it 15 times before.
Yeah.
We know what's going to follow this. We know what's going to do. You know, I was talking about I strive for and adore subverting expectations in a poem. One of my favorites, Amy.
Bruh, I told you, bro. Every time I hear Amy, I'm like, man, I wish I wrote that. I wish I wrote that, bro. Like, yo, Amy pisses me off. It really do piss me off.
Congratulations, because now you got one too.
Well, I appreciate it, because Amy is like every time I hear it, and I remember particularly, I heard it 3 times, and every time I'm like, bro, I love how you flip that shit, and the fact that I mean, you talked about this, how I really don't like erotic poetry because usually it's pretty corny. So the way that you were able to work that in, and you work the erotic shit in, but able to flip it, it's like, if I do a erotic poem, either I'm doing like Bear's Amy, or I'm doing like some Ed Mabry, because Ed Mabry got some fire ass joints where he flipping it, and to be able to be so eloquent where you are speaking about sex, but it's not like roguish, and it's not just super blunt. And it's like, you know, like you're able to finesse the word so much where creatively, yeah, we know what you're talking about, but do you?
I was disappointed last time I performed the poem "My Dick," which is always like kind of like you were saying the title.
Yeah.
I did it the first time I did it. I got the right reaction.
Yeah.
The last time I were doing it, it did not go as well because people weren't paying attention or weren't able to catch, and they just caught, the surface of. And I'm like, bruh. And then somebody got on mic was like, yeah, man, it's almost, you was talking about, I was like, I was like, that was the exact point, my guy. Like, that's what literally I was talking about. If people paid attention, you would see what this is really about. And I love that because, it's a different level of craft.
Yeah.
You that poem, the way that you expanded, because I know you. Yeah. I expected the expansion from personal to cultural.
Right.
Because I know you.
Right.
But it could have very easily, if I didn't know you, it could have been a really like just a funny poem, you know what I'm saying, of a self-awareness. Yeah. It could have been like me just, you know what I'm saying, just viewing my personal issues and finding my personal identity.
Right.
But the way that you broadened it and stretched it out to so many things, and then your returns.
Yeah.
Where you kept going back to the you so black that, bro, that was genius.
Appreciate
because we're used. I'm used to. I give you the front end preface. Yeah, and I might bring it back at the end.
Right.
But the way that you kept working it in. Yeah, and that kept on and this cognitive kind of like a little seesaw, if you will.
Yeah, and it kind of, like you said earlier, it kind of makes you kind of have to participate a little bit.
Yes, because because it's funny. It's sad, but it's funny. You know what I mean? Because we black, we snap, bro. Like we live on that, man. So you can't clown, you struggle. So we used to things like that. It's just part of the humor of the culture. But that you sandwich that between,
and that's why I make sure that once I hit you with the funny, that very first line is kind of like a gut punch, like you so black. You so black, your school pictures like ultrasounds. and then like the very next thing I say is I'm so black that I learned early about self-hate. And then one thing that I think a lot of people miss with that poem, my second verse, when I go into until it became much clearer about the reflection in the mirror, with secrets of slavery they don't tell you, what Big Papa couldn't stop or would have been killed for. Big Mama was raped by her slave master. I'm going through what I call my 8-year-old hateful clapback. This is Cordney McClain being mad at light-skinned people. And I'm telling you, I'm overgeneralizing. All you light-skinned people are light-skinned because your grandmothers got raped.
Oh.
So it's like a play on
highly educated petty.
Right. Right. It's a overgeneralize of fuck you, because in the very first verse you hurt my feelings. But in this one I'm clapping back because I got a little bit of education and I know that a lot of y'all light skinned because y'all great grandmother was raped. And this is why, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like you ever seen the Boondocks? You ever seen the Boondocks where Riley's playing basketball and the white girl is kicking his butt? And then he says, well, I heard your mama be doing such and such, and it messes her all up. That's me on the playground talking about, oh, yeah? Well, okay, yeah, I am black, but you light-skinned because your great-great-grandma got raped. That's that part. That's that part. And so when I go to the third paragraph and I'm going into, well, to be so black, the Big Mama took hog remains and made fine cuisine for somebody else's family, but she still had generations of love leftovers. Like that is going into embracing all our blackness, because those particular instances all of us can relate to. No matter what shade of black we all can relate to that. So then, I kind of holistically try to pull it back into the community.
I think this is why we had this conversation. I wanted to spit some and discuss the parts behind it. How you took it from I'm looking at me, or how this affected me, and said my feelings hurt.
Yeah.
This is me talking to you. I'm sorry, and now this is us.
Yeah.
That these levels and layers of things, that even though I'm hearing a lot of stuff that you're putting into the poem itself, I don't automatically know your motivation or impetus for each piece of it. And that to me is what's so interesting, how a poet structures the why that you do this part that you did here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Which part of this does it? Fantastic Bros did a poem about chicken nuggets, McDonald's chicken nuggets.
I love that poem.
Crazy.
That shit brilliant.
I was like, so I got to ask for the people, is that about food?
Yeah.
He's like, part of it, Like, I mean, and prime example, so the song Particle Man by They Might Be Giants. Fun little song kind of thing, dope song, Particle Man, Triangle Man, Universe Man, Person Man. You know what I mean? Universe Man has a watch, has a minute hand, a millennium hand, an eon hand. Like, it's crazy, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, people break down, like, what's it mean? What are you talking about? And Particle Man, Triangle Man, like, what's triangle representing? Person Man, that's humanity, how we interact. It's like, the song means nothing.
Yeah.
It means, the writer said it means nothing. It literally was, we would just write a song we thought was fun. Yeah. Throws off your whole game when you're like,
so I didn't know that.
So, but and that's the thing about it. You hear a piece, and I have had an argument with somebody on Quora for a while now. Like, whose meaning is more important, the creator or the receiver? And I said, well, I mean, your interpretation, the author's right, because you have your own interpretation. I said, no. the author's meaning trumps everything.
Yeah.
You can't tell a person why they wrote something. You can't.
Hey, but as a poet, I know you've at least had a handful of people try to tell you why you wrote something, the rationale behind one of your pieces. And that shit is crazy, ain't it? I've had somebody do that to me. And I've had a few people do that to me, and it's like, how the fuck you gonna tell me what I was thinking I wrote this shit?
That's like I love about, you know what I'm saying, them love fast relationship poems and stuff. Folk like, bro, I literally wrote this. I had to be careful, man. My girl be with me at shows and stuff, and I have to tell her what I'm doing, what poem I'm doing. Like, it's just a poem.
Yeah.
Because, and I was like, how I perform. I'm gonna pick somebody, I'm gonna talk to somebody kind of thing.
Yeah. But
I got my eye constantly on making sure, because her face get a certain way, because I'm talking to this person. They're looking like, ooh, and I'm like, no, it's just a poem.
Especially how you selling it. Man, they take it literal. They're like, oh yeah, Bear want to take me home tonight because he spit this poem to me and he spit it well. The delivery was, you sold that shit. So yeah. So
all that, like I said, oh man, so yeah, I mean, I know you meant, or you was trying to say, or so and so. I wrote a poem my senior year of high school. One of my favorite ones. No, it's not nowhere near performance. I would never say it out loud.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I let my father read it. He said, "I like it, son, but it's kind of dark. You okay?" Because in the end, the poem ends with the person's talking about committing suicide.
Okay.
And it was like nobody could say why when they found his broken body under the bridge.
Yeah.
Now I'm a teenager. I went through my angsty writing phase. I have a bunch of poems that will never ever see the light of day.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
Because like I'm ashamed. I cringe when I look at them. But I was like, nah, bro. I wrote this because I was playing with imagery.
Yep.
I was playing with the metaphors. I was playing with what I see in my head, can I write it to where you see it and feel it as well?
That's when I learned that lesson you learned. Well, that experience you had, I experienced that with my mom, and I stopped letting her read my poems a long time ago because she didn't get it. She would take it literal. Mm-hmm. When, like you said, I'm playing with imagery. I'm trying to test this pen out. It doesn't mean I'm ready to jump off a bridge.
Bruh. And I think now some people do.
Yeah, true.
And that's your space.
True.
You can do that. That's why I say the craft, man. There's room for all of us. My only requirement is that it's good.
Yeah. And I go back to saying, I'm not saying you have to be super technical, but to be creative and to for it to come off like you mean it, that's what makes it dope for me. And please, if you get away from the Dr. Seuss shit, but
and please stop talking about what you put in your mouth. We get it.
We get it.
And we can tell you're getting it or giving. Congrats, but that's not. I wouldn't be proud. You know what, bro? I want to say something, but I can't say it. But here's the thing about it, man.
You gonna say it off air? Barry gonna tell me.
Yeah, remind me. It's a lot of stuff I'm gonna say that I'm not going to say on this recording. Well, speaking of. Man, I almost hate to do it, but I gotta be somewhere here for too long.
Yeah.
And so I said we gotta do a Saturday, man. When I got like time.
Yeah.
We might have to do a part 2.
For sure.
Because there's a whole list of questions here that I had nowhere to get to ask. All right,
well, give me 2 of them. What's up? You got 2?
Not for us, no.
Okay.
No. We're at 2 hours and 17 minutes.
Yeah, that shit went fast.
Yeah. So, no, I can't give us 2 questions because I don't have another 45 minutes because it's going to be, which, rock out. We're going to do a part 2, my guy.
I'm down.
There will be a part 2 to this. There's a lot more convo to be had. All right, so y'all are listening, man. Y'all here. I think it's absolutely imperative to point out that this man has a book, which
Yeah.
Interesting called Blacker Than Shakespeare's Ink. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure now y'all have a appreciation for that title, that you get a glimpse of why that is. And I say this, I'm of course, I'm going to hawk and push, you know what I'm saying, what everybody's doing to come to this, this venue kind of thing, because I love it all. People's expression and trying, to share themselves with the world. But I think at this point, I'm saying this, do yourself the favor of taking a trip into this man's mind. Like there's so much, you know what I'm saying, this convo, like I said, we can do 2, 3, 4, 5 episodes of this man, just chopping.
And some people aren't avid readers. If you do not want to read a book, it's okay, because I have an album out and you can find it on any platform. My album is on all platforms. Blacker Than Shakespeare's Ink. The Score of the Nostalgic Kid, Mac Woods. Look it up. M-A-C Woods. W-O-O-D-S. On all platforms. If you don't want to read.
Is the album like the audiobook or a companion piece?
It was more like a companion piece. At first, like the 12 tracks, because it's full 12 tracks. I'm releasing the other 6 in a couple months. But the first 6, I would say within the 12, it's 50% poems from the book. The other 12 are brand new poems. Okay. Yeah. Because at first I did want like a straight audio book, and then you know how we be writing new stuff. Yeah. The pen evolves. So I ended up doing maybe like 50% what's in the book, and then the other 6 are brand new.
I think it wouldn't be a bad idea, man, to do like a straight audio book of that bad boy. So give people the opportunity, to like you said, if folks don't read, then you can listen to, or maybe not. Listen to the album. Oh, that's dope. I want to know more about the book. Yeah, now you read. You know what I'm saying? That's how you get it.
Yeah. And the book also has essays in it. I float in essays to kind of give you like a preface to the next poem.
Word.
Yeah. So it's like 30 poems and about like 10 essays.
Word. Yep. Well, all right. So before we bounce, let folks know where they can find you, how they can follow you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So on LinkedIn and Facebook, 'cause I am a LinkedIn fan. So that's Cordney, Cordney, no U, no T, McClain, MCCLAIN, and you can find me on IG on Mac, MAC _ since 1985. Link up with me. I do answer my DMs. You could book me. You could purchase my book at www.macwoodsinc. That's ink.com as well.
Word. Y'all do it, man. Catch his brother, follow this brother, man. See what he got. I said the brother is sharp. The old black folks say they ain't no art, but sharp. Boy, the boy sharp. If it stands too close, the wind might cut you. So check out the swag is official, man. If you are trying to upgrade your presentation, follow this man on his Facebook and IG, because he does it the right way.
The right way.
I said, now don't mess around living in the same place at the same time, man, and get pictures together, because the doors of my DMs are also open. The doors of the DMs are open. Do not. Okay, now I was mentioning the bio. He is married,
right,
with 2 lovely daughters.
Yes.
So.
Divas, all 3 divas.
Be mindful when you move to that DM, because she's really pretty much like she can fight.
Yes, she can.
Or if not fight, she'll cut you. She will cut you.
And she can fight though.
Okay, see that's what.
Yeah, she come up. She got 5 brothers.
Bruh.
Yeah.
There's something about pretty chicks that can squad, man.
Yeah, man, it's just sexy, bruh. It's crazy.
My lovely little one, man. Bless her heart. Short and compact.
See that's how my youngest is. My youngest is a carbon copy of my wife, which is it's really aggravating because she's 4 and already got butt, and my aunts let me know it. oh, what you gonna do with that, Cordney? You see all that butt she got already? That's all I got to hear.
Like, first off, what I don't want to hear from my family is that my child got cheeks, okay?
Yeah.
Now, I have eyes, but I don't want to hear from my family that this is...
They're going to be like, it's mainly my aunts, though. My aunts be on my head. You better keep her busy. You better keep her in sports.
You're former military.
Yes. 8 years, Oklahoma. Yes, sir.
So,
yes, sir.
There you go.
Yeah.
And that's
it.
That's what you. And he's military trained. His wife fights. So I'm saying, when you head to them DMs, if it ain't about business,
it needs to be about business. I am about that business
and not getting busy. Man, this has been a pleasure.
A pleasure. I appreciate you having me, King.
Oh man, I appreciate having you here, Pittman. Like you were saying, you was high on the list.
We've been going, huh? When did we start?
2 hours and 23 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I mean, bro, like we could do this.
Yeah.
Like I would definitely chop this bad boy up into 5-6 episodes. We might mess around. One season will be the Macwood season.
Hey, we can get up in here, man. It's always good talking to you, bro.
Man, always a pleasure.
As always, I'm your metronomical misfit, that boy Bear, and I leave you with these words. Poetry does not seek to imitate life. Rather, life aspires to become poetry. One love, 2 fingers. Deuces.